place. These are the number of kids I want to have. And whatever it is your desire is for a family or for your home and for your life, your spouse has to be in agreement for it to come to fulfillment. So I think I should stop there for now.
Okay.
Brahma is back. And you can, so Justina is also here.
What do you want to
He's the master.
Auntie Joy.
I understand. you
Hi. It's the Afana.
Hmm?
You have a chop alone.
Daddy, what's your problem? Now, what do you have to add to what Auntie Joy said?
Come on, chop.
Send us palliatives though.
Oh my God, damn it.
Let me calm down.
Ima, what do you have to say to what Auntie Joy said?
The truth of the matter is the alignment of dreams and vision is something that is critical to every relationship. It's very, very important. And that is an area we must have to deal with early enough before we go into relationship. From my own point of view, I believe so much in aligning our dreams and our visions, even before we go far in any relationship at all. And any couple or any intending couple who wants to go deep, who wants to actually explore what is ahead of them must align their dreams and their visions. It is by aligning your dreams and your visions that you know how beautiful your union or your relationship is going to be tomorrow. Because there are some areas of alignment in dreams and visions that you cannot take away from either the man or the woman. They cannot compromise that area at all. And there are some areas that you can talk it over, and there will be an agreement. Both of you will say, okay, this is what we want on this area. But on this area, you say no-go area. You must always find a way to go around it and to make sure that everybody is happy if truly you want to go ahead with that relationship. So as young people, not just young people, everybody out there must have to work seriously on that area of aligning of dreams and vision. It is very critical in any relationship. And if you check that Amos, I want to read that Amos chapter 3 verse 3 from Message Translation. Message Translation said, do two people walk hand in hand if they aren't going to the same place? Once we agree that we want to go to the same place, we must walk hand in hand. That hand in hand is where the alignment is. That alignment is both in vision and every other thing that both of us believe in. We must share our belief together. Share where we want to go tomorrow, where we want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. We share it together and have an agreement to know that, okay, this is working out or this is not working out. That place said, do two people walk hand in hand if they aren't going to the same place? Because if they're not going to the same place, they cannot walk hand in hand. I was listening to a program yesterday. A man of God, a KICC pastor, one of the KICC pastors in Lagos, did an online message yesterday. He said that two couples, as in a couple, that the couple, they must agree on a direction they must have to go before they even agree to go into that relationship. That their vision must be shared. That when you come to a relationship where the man has decided to go on a direction heading towards east, and the woman is going towards west or north. For example, if the two of them are wearing a handcuff that is holding both of them together, if they don't agree on a particular direction to go to, they cannot move. There's going to be pain, there's going to be stress, there's going to be difficulty. If I'm going with my wife, and we have a handcuff together, we must agree on a particular place to go at a particular time. That is how the relationship is like that bond between the two of them. Once that cuff is in their hands, before they can move, my wife cannot tell me that she's going to church and I say I'm going to play football, I'm going to the pitch. It will not work, because as she's going towards the direction of church and I'm going towards the direction of the pitch, there won't be a movement. Instead, there will be pain between the two of us. That is where that alignment comes in. We must align our dreams. We must align everything. It must be must be compatible for us to move ahead. So this is an introduction. let me stop here for now.
Hey!
Thank you very
You
much.
mentioned it was me, you're not
Hello?
serious. You mentioned that alignment of dreams and vision is something you have to do early enough. At what stage? Is it when you're dating or when you're courting?
No,
At what stage?
from dating.
What stage is early enough?
From dating, when both of you are dating, there are some things you must have to discuss.
Okay.
You understand? You have to discuss some part of your dreams and also your vision early enough, because most times, most of us, the youth, we go in blindly, and when we discover where we are going to, we find it very difficult to withdraw. To us, we might think, we've gone far already, so let me just go and endure. At that time, endurance comes in. Do you understand? You won't be happy in where you are, and you just want to manage because I have entered already, so that people will not say this, or so that people will not say that. To me, I believe alignment of dream comes in at that point where you guys are, you enter at that particular time when you enter courtship. From the beginning, in fact, it should be from the beginning, at that early stage, so that whatever picture you are creating, you create it from the picture, the dream and the vision, the dream and the picture you've had ahead of time. You just create your pictures around it.
All right. Okay. Justy, I have one question. So let's say you are in a relationship with a guy, and okay, you guys have like your vision, your visions are the same, but maybe you guys just have like one or two differences. Are you guys okay? Will you guys now decide to break up or look for a common ground?
It depends on what the differences are.
Okay, depends on what the differences are. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
If it's something that
If it's something that what?
If it's something, it depends. It could be something very trivial. You can still go along with the person. But there are some things that would happen that we have to put the vision aside.
Like what?
Like, I know that at times, I was going to say something when he was talking about vision. If you talk about, you guys talk about the visions you have together and you pursue, and you now go into the relationship, or at the early stage of relationship, talk about the visions you guys have. Do you know that it's very good for me to talk about my vision, but I'm not pushful?
You know what?
I'm not pushful. Yeah. I can talk about the vision I have, but I'm not working towards it. So what do we do in that aspect? Whereby some people can sit down, they can analyze for you now, from morning to night. They will tell you how to do it, but they cannot take one step towards it. So they just want to tag along. There are people like that. I'm throwing the question back to Emmanuel.
Okay.
So what do you do? Like, okay, you are meeting me, and I have visions to tell you this is what I want to do, and you too, you've told me your visions. But along the line, when we start and we continue in the relationship, I'm just the only one doing it. You are not doing anything. You are just sitting there. But your vision is there, and I know what your vision is. So what do I do?
When you come to this point, at that point, that's why I said it should be early enough. At this point, you've not made so much commitment. There has not been any serious commitment at this point.
Brother Ima, sorry, Ma, before you go on, I have a question. Okay. I don't know if you can tie it together with what Justina just said. I would like to understand what we mean by vision. This vision that could either make us work together or cause us to go our separate ways. Can you help us with like a few examples of what this vision or visions can be, please? Thank you.
Okay, now let me cite an example. Let me use my own family as an example. I have a vision to establish my company and make it a very big one, a construction company, and make it, nothing can stop that my dream. It's a vision I have. Nothing can stop it. And now I'm coming to live in a place or marry. I came to marry a woman who is a barrister, a lawyer, who also wants to practice. Now, this is her own field. She has a vision to accomplish a particular thing in that her line of study of discipline. Now, my vision cannot overshadow her own vision. Do you understand me? Now, my vision is to do this one for myself, and she has a vision for herself. And when we come together, we share our visions together, and we make out a way for us to match our visions so that it will be beautiful to do with both of us, so that it can be something both of us can live with and be happy together with. Now, there are some areas when, like what she said, if you're in a relationship where one person is doing her own side, her own part of the vision. A vision is something you live in. You know, there's nothing like acting on it or working on your own particular vision. A vision is something that you live out for. It's a projected thing is a picture that you've created in your head. You've created on yourself that you want to actualize tomorrow. So at this point, you don't bother yourself about that person's vision. You bother yourself more about how that person will help you achieve your own vision. Now, in his own side, if there are areas you need to play a role to help him accomplish that and bring happiness to the family, that is what you should be interested in. Visions are not, you don't put yourself in his own vision. Instead, you help him out. If there are areas you need to adjust one or two things to make his own vision work out, you ease him all those things so that his own vision will work out. So in vision, you play your own role to accomplish your own vision. Once your vision is going in line with what your partner wants or what will help the family. So on that part where the person is doing his own and you're not doing your own, or you are doing your own, he's not playing around. He can tell you all the sweet things about visions and how we should do it, but he's not doing it. At that point, if you realize that at that point, then you have your own decisions to make. It's either you say, I will go on, or I can make amends, or I can pay the sacrifice. I can sacrifice and say, okay, let me just be the one doing. But at that point, if you cannot comprehend, if you cannot follow up, you go your own way, you get your separate ways. At that particular, that's why I say you should come early. At that point, you've not made any serious commitment to that particular relationship. That is why dreams and visions are supposed to be shared early enough. Now, if you have dream that by 2022 that you'll be in the USA, establishing one thing or that, there is nothing your partner will be telling you to stay in Nigeria permanently that you agree. Instead, she might be telling you, okay, don't go 2000, let's not go to 2022 because I need to do my master's and PhD in so thing, which I've already started. Let's leave it to 2024 or 2023. There must be an agreement between the two of you for that. But she cannot hold you down on your vision of going to the USA because it's something that will benefit the both of you. And you cannot stop her from doing her master's that she has started or doing her PhD because it is something that will still benefit the two of you if you must agree. There must be an agreement, there must be a sacrifice. And then you pray along with it. And I know everything will work out well. So if that particular person or your partner is not doing well in his own side, if it's something you can move on with, fine, you can go on with it. That's your own personal decision. But if it's something you cannot move on with, you have every right to say, I'm not going, and nobody will put a gun on your head and say you must continue. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Hey. Uncle Chris, you want to say something?
No, say hallelujah. I'll say hallelujah.
I don't understand.
Rosie is quiet today.
Okay, Dami.
Okay, there's something I want to say concerning this vision of a thing. Yeah, I don't think it's everybody that we meet along the way that will be sharing vision and dreams together.
Okay.
You have to be somebody that, yes, you are certain, you have the conviction that, okay, yeah, this is the person. This conviction I'm talking about is getting to the point where you have prayed and you know that, okay, yeah, this is the right person for me. That is when, that's when I feel that I can start sharing vision and dreams. I can't meet somebody today and then the next thing I'm telling you about is vision and dreams. When even me personally, I've not even achieved that. I've not even achieved like 50% of that vision and dream. I don't think this vision and dream is, I don't think it's for every, I don't think it's for everybody you meet in the relationship. No. It's for the person that you are certain about and you're convicted that, okay, yeah, this is the person. That's what I feel.
Okay. So okay, if you're certain that that person is someone you're spending your life with, and you now find out that you guys have different vision. I mean, there's no harm to break up
Yeah,
now.
because
You guys can still remain friends. Yeah.
Having different
yes,
vision, excuse me, having different vision does not stop a relationship.
No, yeah, that's why I said you guys can
no,
become. If you have different visions, and you guys are not ready to, align it.
That's
You guys are
the
not ready to
alignment
work together.
and yes, and that
You cannot
agreement,
meet
that
someone that you're
alignment is
dating
what
and
is
just start
available.
sharing a vision.
No. See, it's not everybody you see on the road that you date.
That's what that is trying to say.
Yes, it's not anybody you see on
yeah,
the
that's
road.
what
Yes, you can meet somebody for the first time. You can be friends. Why I said you should wait until that time, you guys are going into courtship, or you are actually taking the relationship to the next level, and you know deep down in you that you want to get serious about this, and you want to settle down. You have to share your visions and your dreams. Moreover, your visions
Definitely.
and dreams is not your visions and your dreams is a personal thing, and that is why you must have to share your visions are personal first before you can share it with anybody. And it's something that you conceived in your heart that it is my vision. And that your vision, you have to share it with somebody you think that you want to go ahead of life with, as in go ahead in life with. It's not somebody that you just meet carelessly and tomorrow that one has gone, you meet another person. No. Your vision should depend on your partner, on your own first. It shouldn't depend on your partner's own. You have to focus on your own decisions first. That your partner you are meeting, or that person you think that will be a partner tomorrow, must not get to know your visions until you guys have agreed you want to take it to the next level. That time you guys are just being friends, trying to entice each other, trying to be friendly and all that. But by the time you know that, yes, I think we have to take this to the next level. That's when
I
you begin to
can't hear
share.
him.
That's when you begin to
Okay.
share your visions, and you don't just bring out everything at the same time. And it's an
Well,
advice. You have to
yeah,
start from preliminary things first. Once you see that the person is digesting it and the person is cooperating, then you go deeper into it. So
and
praise
also
God.
okay. What I also learned from my person I'm dating is that you have your personal, like I have my own vision. He has his own vision. And your vision for marriage. It's not just about my own vision and your own vision. You should also have vision for your marriage, because if you're going to get married to someone, you should remember that you're going to also, like, you want to start a family, you want to have kids. So what vision would you want to have, like, for your marriage, not just your personal vision and your wife's personal vision? What vision do you want to also have for your marriage? So let's not just neglect the fact that yes, we all have visions. I mean, right from when we're kids, we all have something that we want to do or achieve or become. But you also know that you're starting a new family. You are now coming together as one. You guys will have to have like a marital vision. So it's not all about, okay, I studied this course and my wife studied this course. How she helped me do this and how she, yeah, that was also important. Having a spouse that will, let's say, cheer you up, help to grow and all. You should also have like vision for your marriage, what your kids will, let's say, work with, so how to raise up your kids and all. Christian home, how you want them to act or be or behave or whatever. And that vision should also be in alignment with what God wants from you guys. That's very important. Okay, so welcome, Christy. Are you wearing glasses? No, Chineke.
My eyes are not tired. I'm just coming in, like I've been
Are you
rushing.
serious?
Princess,
Okay.
Sorry
Yeah.
for the delay.
Got it.
let's
Nani?
not forget that some
Got it.
people's vision
Yeah.
is to get married.
My wife wants to say something.
Okay. Natija.
You don't have to. Yeah, I was waiting for
Okay, well.
And Dottie, God bless you for that point. Christy, welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Before you went on, that was the point I wanted to bring up. I wanted to say
Okay.
that in every relationship, Papa, there are two. Let me just break it down like this. There are two types of visions that people should have. And maybe when we say vision, we make it too big a word. Maybe plan.
100.
Maybe you can say plan, or maybe
100.
kind of things you will want for your life,
Let them
or
know
you
this. Instead of
desire.
them with the phone. Go to bring the phone. Go to room with the phone.
Desire for your life. Now, as a person, as an individual, there are things you want to, there are things you aspire for, there are things you desire to have. There's a kind of life you want to have. And then as a couple too, when you come into the marriage, there are things you also desire that, okay, I like my home to be like this. I want my home to be a haven of peace and rest and love. I don't want to face all the chaos in the world and still come back home fighting with my spouse. I want to, a peaceful and a lovely environment. I want my children to be like this. I want my children to learn this. I want my children to go to this type of school. There are people that will say that our children must go to private schools. Another person might be saying that, no, my children must go to public school. Another person might say, our children must go to boarding school. The other person is saying, no, they are not going to boarding school. They must go to day school. Things like that. And people don't know that these are part of the visions and plans that they should have and talk about. There are things that will bend for some things, really. Some things are more important than some things. We shouldn't deceive ourselves. Because if you want to say, everything, all this my thing must come, then you will not see the man too will find he will not say. So you cannot get everything 100%. Some things will bend for some things. You will have to agree for some things. Agree for some things and let go of some things. But the thing is, the things you are agreeing for, how important are those things? There should be things that you value, your values, things that are important to every family. This is one. Things that, not every family, sorry, that are important to you as a person, maybe your values, the things you hold in high esteem. You understand? For some people, my spouse shouldn't be, we should be friends, should be sincere, shouldn't lie to me, should be transparent, shouldn't be this, shouldn't be. There are some things, that are more important than some things really in marriage. And even in your relationship, when you are friends, there are things you can actually overlook. And there are some things like, man, you try and once and gone. You get? We all have had relationships, and I know we understand what I'm talking about. But at the same time, let's don't forget that as much as you are thinking about you, what you're achieving, what your wife is achieving, whatever you people are achieving, you're going to have kids. You're going to plan for those kids. So what is your vision? What is your plan for that family? And there's also an agenda of God for every family. Your family is not a man, woman, just meet, just marry. There is a plan and purpose God has for you. Ima meeting Chima. There is a plan. There's a God-given agenda for that family. So what is that thing that you and Chidima are supposed to be doing for God and for your society and for people? So this vision thing, when we just make it look like, for instance, now let me give a very simple example. Maybe there's a man that loves to give, he wants to give, and the woman doesn't understand why he should be giving. That can be a problem in the marriage. Money that we are supposed to, you are just giving and giving, except maybe God gets to deal with her, or maybe she understands or learns or something along the line, or it can be a major problem because it's just like giving people we were not even seen to eat. Do you understand? So in every relationship, as much as we talk about visions and some things will bend for some things, but Dami, there was a point you made. I wanted to say something about. You said you don't think that visions should be for early relationship. Was that what you said? Dami,
No, I said it's not for everybody you meet along the way when you are dating. That's what I said.
Okay, anybody you meet along. But do you think that
Along
when
the
you
way, yeah.
someone that is a friend, I'm asking now, do you think that when you meet someone, maybe for instance, Rose is your friend. Now, Rose is your friend. Have you ever gisted to the point that you say stuff like, I would like my kids to maybe school in Princeton or Harvard? Have you ever? Or something, okay, let me go, maybe that one is too far. Maybe something you see in the future.
I want to have 3 children.
Something very simple. I want to have 3 or I want to have 2 children. Have you ever gisted to that point?
Whether I want to have 3 children or 2 children, is that what you said?
Something very casual, yes. But it's about your
Yeah.
Rose.
You're not getting me. Okay. I think you're not getting me. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think I have to be so close to you for me to start letting you know some kind of future I want. Do you understand? If maybe from close...
I'm talking about now of vision, because like I know that visions are like the plans and the things that you want.
Yes, there's a point in courtship where these visions and plans are things that I want to have, I want to do this, I want to do this. You begin to spell out to the lady you are dating so that she knows this is the road you are going to. She's not going to the east and you are going to the west. Or she wants to settle in Ado-Ekiti. You want to settle in Kwara. Do you understand my point?
Hey, Lottie.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Or do you know you can actually gist this thing when you people are just friends? I don't think I have to wait for me, I don't wait to courtship to walk away. Yes, because once I begin to know you from friendship level, we are coming like this, I begin to know that this gist is not going the way that is not planned for my life. I'll walk away. Why wait till I get to the point of cutting you? That's my own opinion, sincerely. Because I feel that getting to the point of courtship, I'm in it before I begin to say, we agree on this and this, then I take a walk. I've gone too far, for me, personally. So when we are still early in the relationship, you are telling me that, okay, for instance, while we're in this relationship, we are not going to abstain. No. We have to keep ourselves. From there, I know that, okay, this is the kind of guy. It's either I decide to stay or I walk away. You understand my point? If he's saying that, I don't want to, see, my uncle is working abroad, he's going to be sending me money, I don't have to stress, and I don't want to. And I know that, okay, from gist, sure you know. Like that, you know who you are. It's not until the person see that, say, number 1, my vision is I will establish. Number 2, my second vision, I'm established. My number 3, my vision. No, it's just a friendship that you get to know people's plans and visions.
But I noticed something. One Dami was trying to say something. I think we will need to establish the definition of vision and dreams as it pertains to this conversation. Because I'm perceiving that some people think that when we say vision, we mean that you just start dating again, tell you that in 2030, I want to build the biggest museum in Africa. That now is some point secretive. That you need to have trust and all that. But what I'm saying is, let me share this. Yesterday evening, I think I was listening to a live podcast, not podcast, a live Instagram video. Pastor Kingsley, who I like a lot, I listen to him a lot. Pastor Kingsley of David Christian Center, and his wife. I've never heard his wife speak before. I've never heard a woman speak before. I've never heard her speak yesterday. So both of them were guest speakers in a program, a Zoom program like this. So it was a church abroad. I was in the program. They were guest speakers. But what he now did was that he put his own phone on the side. I was now sending the video live to Nigerians to watch. So she was now talking about how they met. They had been friends for a while, but she was cutting a guy, and she had even done an introduction, I think. I'm being careful because yesterday I listened to 2 people's marriage talk, so I'm careful I won't mix it. Okay, so she was cutting a guy, or even done introduction with a guy. But one day she woke up, she was going to work, and God just told her that morning that I want to tell you something, that she should open her Bible to. No. He told her that God told her that relationship is not unto him. That she should try and check and see what it's about. So she now went to meet this guy, and just after hearing from God, she didn't break up. She went to meet the guy, and they were not talking about vision and dreams. And this was yesterday. I was hearing this yesterday. She now told the guy that, what if God calls me to be a pastor or I get into ministry? Guy said, God forbid. God forbid. Neither me or my wife would do that kind of thing. He's a Christian, born again Christian. But you know how some Christians will not say, when it comes to all this church thing, I don't want to be in any church. Let's just come and give our tithe and offering. So, but she knew that God had a calling on her life to be a pastor. And this guy that she's in love with, that loves her, and they're already building towards a marriage, is now saying to her, she didn't ask him before. But because of what God has said to her, she now confronted again and said, guys, just a hypothetical question. When the guy don't say God forbid, the guy was insistent and saying, no, he will not allow it. He was even angry that day. She just knew in her heart that this wasn't the guy. And God already told her. She now went to visit her friend, who's her husband now. That was already a pastor of a church. So when she went to see the guy said that he's having counseling, that she should give him like a few minutes. He went for the counseling. When she was sitting down there, I think that time she was she's a very spiritual brand. So she was just praying that time, praying in the spirit. God told her to open her Bible to 1 Samuel. She opened her Bible to 1 Samuel. She read it. When David was anointed. No, David, they came to his house. He wasn't there. They anointed, they checked all his brothers. Someone now said, do you have any other son? He said, there's the last born. He's out in the bush. Pastor Kingsley is the last born in his family. So when he came, he says, God said to Samuel, arise and anoint, for this is the chosen one of Israel. That she read the scripture, and when she finished the scripture, Pastor Kingsley appeared, and she heard in her spirit that God said to her, arise and anoint, for this is the chosen one. She didn't go out and tell him. But, it was, after I heard the story, why I picked the story, why I'm analyzing the story now, is because she had a vision to go in the way of the church. He had a vision to go in the way of the church. That was an alignment. The other guy that she broke up with wasn't because she doesn't love the guy, not because she wasn't physically attracted to the guy, but because they had a disalignment, for lack of a better word. There was something misalignment in the pursuit for church work. Let me say this. Human beings, every person is in three forms. We're all spiritual, soulish, and bodily people. We have those three parts of our bodies. And a lot of times, people get married for one reason. Some people will tell you that God told me to marry her and you want to marry her without being attracted to her, without being aligned with her in your soul. It's a problem. Some people, because both of you read together, you are intellectually connected, you're working in the same office, you see that you guys dream, you have the same dream and vision, both of you are doing ICANN together, you're doing clinical in your head, you think both of you can have, you're not going to marry. Is it ICANN you'll be doing in your home? Some of you look at the fact that this girl is drop dead gorgeous. When I see her, I cannot even focus. She's hot. Oh God. Oh. You marry her. Will she be beautiful forever? Have you seen your mother recently? Does she look like the way she looked in the wedding picture? You get what I'm saying? People, these things fade away. Bible says that beauty is vain because it fades. As age comes, it fades. I've noticed that the older women who look prettier are the ones that are in the right relationship. Go and check it out. Women that are older,
That's true.
they're still glowing, they're still happy. I'm not talking makeup now and surgeries and Botox. I'm talking natural beauty. Because when you are at peace in your heart, it's the way God has created us. When you're at peace in your heart, it just shows. When a woman is in love, you see her, she'll be glowing. She's not having anything. She's just in love. There's just this natural warmth. She's happy. She's glowing. What I'm saying is,
Auntie Joy, you're glowing, Abby.
Is she glowing? Global ambassador. Yes. I'm not sure about if she's glowing though. Are you sure that glowing in this relationship? So what I'm going to look at every relationship from three parts. For me, I start with the spiritual as my own person. Are we spiritually aligned? The guy goes to the mountain to go and pray with white garment. Or the guy is a Muslim, he prays 5 times a day, he does Ramadan. Me, I now go and align. And I'll be cooking sahur, I'll be cooking iftar. Is that what I want to do with my life? Are we in the same spiritual? When our baby needs to be prayed for that is sick, he's praying to Muhammad and praying to Jesus. How are we going to collate that? Where will our children, what will be the focus of our children spiritually? I haven't said that. The Bible says, can two work together except the Bible says, do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. That statement means a lot of things to a lot of people, but what it's saying is that someone that believes differently from your belief, you cannot be equally yoked with the person because the person is either more than you spiritually or under you spiritually. So the yoke, that wooden stick that holds the two cows together will be slanted and it will be a very, very heavy job to do because it's slanted. But when both of you are the same height, You are equally yoked. That's what it means. So look for somebody that is on your level spiritually to marry. I'm saying spiritual level as in both of you are same fervency. I mean spiritually in both of you have the same spiritual vision. Back to the second level. So you guys have to look at, see, I'll be honest with you. You are not keen on ministry and things. Don't go and marry a person that is keen on ministry and things. It's one thing for you not to like it. One thing for you not to know how to do it, but you wouldn't mind. I'm saying you hate it. You don't want to hear ministry. You don't want to go and marry pastors. That's why they say a lot of bitter pastors' wives or pastors' husbands. They hate all the members. They hate everybody in the church. Everything is quarrel. They tell, okay, because you're mother of this, you come and head the daughters of Zion. You'll be cursing on the women, gossiping, destroying the whole church. Because you had no reason to be there in the first instance. Agent of darkness, thank you. Just be cursing problem, gossip. I know because your pastors have been hearing all the news. When your pastor go for counseling, you come and tell his wife on the bedroom. You say, hey, you do hear what they said there, Sister Rosemary did? Hey, you know what I'm saying? So that's one. And two, also, you are planning to go into the academy and want to read. You want to be a bright mind. You want to marry somebody that is selling spare parts in the shop. When you go around and do, I'm being honest, so what are people going to be talking about? What are you talking about? You're talking about how to go to your children will go to Princeton. You say, what is Princeton? Just send them to any school. I know families that are very keen on the school their children will go. They want to know who their teachers are. In my house, if the teacher has a bad thing with my child, it's a problem. I want to see my child and my son and his teacher have good relationship. I remember we were looking for lesson teacher for the kids. The spoken English of the lesson teacher mattered to us. They come and say I am. Didn't they? We don't want that because some people don't care. I've paid the money. It's lesson teacher. Anyone you want, they've paid the money. You know what I'm saying? We also want to raise. We have a vision to raise. We don't want children that only have book knowledge. Today I spent time doing football lesson with my child because he goes to football normally when there was no corona. You know, there's one that has a drum. He drums because we believe that you should harness your talent. It's the vision that we have. My wife has the vision of praying family together. I first was like, I beg, their children, what are they praying? But I'm beginning to see the reason. Now they're doing Bible study. They'll read the Bible story. They will learn a few, ask questions, and learn and pray. My children can pray. So, you know, these things, because we believe in the same thing, we can align. The same thing with you want to go into children ministry. You are dating a girl. One small baby comes to the side of the car, come and beg for money. She pushed the baby away. You say, no worry. When we marry, she will change. You can see Koro, this girl doesn't love children. You say, God call you to children ministry. You want to marry a woman who doesn't love children. Who say, I want to born only one child. Because I don't want children running up and down. They will spoil my wig. They will spoil my clothes. How do you want to cope? You love food. Your wife cannot cook. You want to marry her. How do you want to cope? I'm not saying. I'm saying.
They spoil your shape.
The point is, the one saying, no, guys. Wait. If you love food, if you love food, marry a woman that can cook. I advise you, because the chef will first. I'm telling you the fact, because the point is that person values. The person values the fact that the woman I love has cooked for me. Let's not deceive us. Forget about the chef. Forget all the. That means ask Derek here. So understand one thing. If the man is a foodie, cook for him. I'm advising. If not, secretary will cook for him. Come and do counseling. Cook for your husband if he likes food. If he likes bread, buy bread for him. Continue what I'm saying. And now, bodily, that go and find. I'll talk about responsible husbands and responsible wives.
What if
an irresponsible husband? What are you doing?
See, sorry, I want to ask a question.
I've had that trouble.
No. A situation whereby
let me just land here. Finally, bodily. If you like seeing girls, don't marry. If you like
Auntie Joy.
Please repeat.
When I was a child, when I was 6 years, I told my mom, I said I will marry a dark one. Because I don't understand.
Shit.
If you bleach, I will go and find a new wife.
Repete.
Melanie popping.
Please, we can't hear you.
My dear, the woman yesterday said something I love. God has not chosen who you will marry, but God has godly options. He entered me yesterday night. He said, God has given you, if you want a fair wife, God will give you a fair, tongue-talking, vision-minded. She's out there. And he won't give you one. He'll give you 5 or 6. So you can pick one. Bible says he prepares a table for me. That's not just one place.
Hey,
It's
what's it gone?
and you find. So if you've not seen because you're not looking for, so look for physical package.
Hey, Shakabuya. You've not seen because you're not looking for.
Your spouse should turn you on.
Uncle
If
Chris,
not,
hope you didn't break all those girls' hearts those times, those days. You're attacking 5 now.
I actually had 5 for that. I had one I wanted to marry. I don't know all the girls I could marry in my life. There were how many? There are plenty. There are almost 20 something. Marry. I started striking. I strike. Quarter final, they became 10. I strike, they became 5. I strike, they became 3. When they became 2, I started praying. The God now told me the one. Justina.
Then you now saw Lambo.
And I saw Lamborghini.
Oh, shit.
Don't come, Chrissy. Don't come, Chrissy. Don't come. Justina.
So what I wanted to ask is this. You were making an illustration about, okay, if you like food, marry someone that knows how to cook and everything. So, but I don't know, let me now throw it to you. There's this part that, okay, nobody is 100% perfect.
Right.
So you should now weigh the strength to the weakness.
Wow.
Okay? So if that person have, let me say, 80% of what you want, and you love food, but the person doesn't know how to cook.
Okay, I do priorities. No, you see the point. You guys, I'm not saying women should be cooking in the kitchen. I'm anti that. I'm saying that.
I know. I'm just trying to tell you now that.
You see, I can buy myself gifts, but when my wife buys me a gift, I get what I'm saying.
It means more.
It means more. No matter how many watches I buy for myself, the watch my wife has bought for me, the watch is more than any other watch. The perfection. You get what I'm saying? So
another thing I want to ask.
I'm not answering your question, though.
Another.
Calm down.
You said, if you like a slim woman, marry a slim woman. If you like a big woman, marry. No, not even if she gives birth. There are some people that they're actually big from the onset, and you like a big woman. But as they grow, they start shrinking.
Yeah.
Become small. What would you do? You go and look for another big woman outside.
Okay. So guys. There are 3 things. There are 3 things I'm saying, Justina. One, I'm talking to pre-marriage. Yesterday, guy, let another woman again. She said, before you get married, shine your eye. Because after you marry, the only counsel you will hear in Christianity is pray. After you have won that ring, no, now you are still dating. Say, break it, leave him alone. It's stupid. When you marry, the only thing your pastor will tell you is pray for him. So that means you have entered one chance. If it's a workaholic, a drunkard, an alcoholic, a drug abuser, it's pray, they'll tell you. Pray till it changes. So what I'm saying now is pre-marriage. You see, the point is this. If I have a gold watch, and the gold watch, I used to wear it every day, it's very beautiful, I take it around. Then one day the gold watch gets spoiled and it can't be fixed. Do you know that I might not wear that gold watch because it's spoiled, but anytime I see it in my caravan, in my box, in my whatever, there's a way to still gladden my heart that I will remember the good days. You see, one thing people fail to realize is that in your relationship with your husband and your wife, the early days play a long while in how you drive. When it gets sour, do you have any pleasant memories? Why do you think couples travel? Why do you think couples go for picnic? It's to have memories. So when the chips are down, you can remember and say, this is my wife. Have you seen people whose husbands become sick, they can't even ease themselves? The wife will be cleaning the poop from their body and still be loving them. Have you asked yourself, how does this woman still loving this man that cannot pee or cannot poop? It's the memories that you have created. I'm not saying we'll live our life in memories. So I'm just telling you that, yes, women grow fat or grow slim and all that. Things change. If you were here the day we did talk about sex, I even said that if women's bodies change, so if you don't plan, you can get into trouble. But what I'm saying is, Justina, you are about to choose somebody you're about to run with. If you're about to go to represent your family in a relay race, if you want to select from your siblings, you will pick the sibling that has the stronger sibling to go and represent you people. You're about to run a race with someone. Take your best option forward. That brings me to your other question. Now, I believe in prioritizing. There are things I cannot do without, and there are things I can do without. Let me give an example. I wish I could have a wife who has plenty of money. So when I bring quarter, she bring quarter, we join and we pay. Are you getting me? But if my wife doesn't have plenty money, I don't think it will matter to me. I don't think I don't think I'll be, oh, this woman cannot do, now this man cannot do money. I don't think I'll be that worried. I wouldn't mind. Who doesn't like, when you pay rent, there's the money, don't worry, I paid the rent. No, you don't want to pay the fee.
Hey! Oh, no.
I will lay hands on her when I speak my tongue. If I be a man of God. You know what? I can do without food. I like to eat, but honestly, I can do without food. If my wife is tired, I cannot cook, I'll go and boil indomie and chop. Nobody will die. I can eat bread morning, afternoon. People that ask Rosemary, I can eat bread morning, afternoon, night. Morning, afternoon.
I eat Gary morning, afternoon.
You're not poisoning me. You're not poisoning me. You're not killing me. You're not telling me if you don't eat now, you die. I will just leave on. So when I was about to choose who to marry, in fact, when I prayed and my list came down to 3, one of the people in the 3, that one can cook for eternity. That one used to, I will come to the house unannounced. She'll go and pound yam and cook new
food. No.
Because wait for you.
Wife material. Oh, no.
She was a complete wife material, but unfortunately, I was the wrong husband.
Oh, no.
It's not you, it's me. It wasn't her, it was me.
Lambo was there.
Lambo was there. Because of where I know I was going to. One thing I was very important was the physical appearance of my wife. I couldn't play with that. The moment I found a girl who was beautiful and spiritual, any other thing was not important to me. Just be spiritual and be beautiful. Forget food, forget money, forget anything. It's all that. But be beautiful and not be fear God. Be fervent in God. Those were my priorities. Now I have one that can bake, she can cook, she can do a lot of things that will not allow you to do. You know what I'm saying? So one minute, I had a friend who was dating a girl. The girl didn't like to cook. This guy loves pounded yam. You know my friend now, Obaji. This guy sees food, he'll be praying in tongues. He's a Oedipo son. He'll be saying, Shakalama, he'll be swallowing a bambi, swallowing in tongues. He likes food. This girl doesn't like to cook. She'll be buying food and bring it to him. They're about to get, we were in final year. I said, her name is Mercy. I said, Obaji, Mercy is not good for you. Mercy is not good for you. He was like, no, that she's fine. I said, find a wife that can cook.
Boy person disco.
It's a fact now. Listen to me. You know that the guy's father died recently. His father died 2 months ago. He called me to tell me his father died. Not told me at the end of the phone call, say, Chris, I never thanked you for your counsel. Which counsel? He said, your counsel on me dumping Mercy for my new wife. I don't know his new wife. I don't know what she looks like. But he said he married her, and every time she cooks for him, there is a gladness in his heart. Look at what you can do without. I get me? Look at what you can do without and put that on your lower scale. But the things you cannot do without, don't water it down. Because marriage is not 100% dash. Even with me and my wife,
100% at all.
We look like brother and sister. We can quarrel. Even today, just walk here and come back with quarrel. You are looking as if this people is the one the next Jesus when it's coming. We can quarrel. We have different opinions, but the point is that we love each other. We have a vision that we want to build with. We fear the same God. You know what I'm saying? So it helps in the whole.
Very
you know so even if she says she can't cook tomorrow, I will say now, wow, I will still cut the bread, eat. She can even come and meet me and eat the bread and collect one slice and eat. We will not laugh. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like, but I'm not saying that just like you went away. I'm saying that prioritize what you're doing. Put the ones you cannot do without. If I call you now and tell you just now, you're going to travel for 3 months in desert, and you should come with 5 things. You know there's some things you will not even think about. Some things you will because those ones are more important to your livelihood. If you're going to go on a relationship with someone, my advice to you is, what are the things you cannot do without? Some people cannot do without sex. Some people cannot do without sex. Don't get married. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
I thought this.
How come you summarize just like that?
You must have to summarize just like that.
How can somebody make you summarize?
There are single people here.
Someone is talking. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Is it?
What is
Second question is very interesting.
Network is bad. We want to come back and get.
Please, who is speaking? We can't hear you.
What he's saying that is it true that the
Is
vision of
it
a
true
woman?
the vision of a woman is dependent on her husband? Ladies,
Advice you leave
over
and
to you.
advice you leave and come back.
Want to see her face? Let's know who is talking, please.
She doesn't have lights. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Speak louder.
She needs to go out and come back. Okay, she's left. She's asking a question.
Okay, so
Is it true that the vision of a woman is dependent on her husband? I think I'd like to hear Chidima talk about this. Chidima.
like Uncle Chris,
Praise
you like
God.
to look for trouble.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So I
Can
think
I talk?
one knowing that me, I'm already a career person, you should already know what my answer is going to be.
I know, that's what I should answer.
I think, well, for me, I would say the issue of vision should first be personal. Because the thing is, before you get married, you know where you're going to, you know what you want. And so that will determine the kind of person that you marry so that you can go there together. Do you understand? So the thing is, for me, I think I don't even believe your vision should be dependent on your husband at all, at all. Have yours first. Then when you now meet him, you now have to have an agreement. Okay, this is what I want. This is what you want. And then you now agree. Okay, we can work together. If we cannot work together at all, let's not even start anything in the first place. When we can work together, then fine. Praise God.
Hallelujah. Christy?
So,
Oh yeah, now what do you say? Should the woman's vision be dependent on her husband? So before you answer, Christy,
well,
I'm seeing a new person here. Yano Olua. So then,
Yes.
you want to introduce yourself?
she's on mute.
Let me unmute her. That's okay, her.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's a yeah?
That's why.
It's a her.
That's why. Jonathan's wife.
How nice!
Will you see? Both of you are different.
Nice to meet you.
Show us your face and let's see Jonathan's wife's face. Eh?
Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry for embarrassing you. Carry on. Let's carry on with you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Oh, I hear the voice.
Good evening. Oh, can we see the face?
No, not tonight. I promise.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
She wants to wear a wig.
It's all right.
Don't worry. We are all like that. We all have fun rules.
You know.
Well done. How's that?
He's doing fine, thank you. I always enjoy this, so I decided to join myself.
Thank you.
Evangelist Christy.
Christy was saying something.
This glass is okay today.
Okay, the question.
Should a woman's vision, is it true a woman's vision is dependent on the vision of her husband?
The truth of the matter is there are two different kind of women. It's all, you get, there are two different kind of women. You have to identify yourself first. You understand? Some, they don't really know what they really want. You understand? So I don't think I should be the one to tell a lady what she wants. Some they just want, like, I know a lady that she doesn't want to work. She just needs a rich man. She just wants to be under somebody. Like, I don't want, you understand? The man, you get what I'm saying? So like we are of different kind of thingy. Me, I want to be like I want to like relate to what my this thing cannot be dependent on my husband. So at first we need to talk. That was when all this like the other time we talked about opening up relationship. You understand? I have to tell him my vision if he will support it. You understand? So if he's not going to support my vision, and like, okay, like for example now, like of recent, there was a guy I used to ask me out then. You understand? So he was like, Christine, I want to marry you, but I don't want you to work.
Yeah.
I can provide for you. Because this your work is exposing you to men. You're too beautiful. Men will be you. This what I want.
Domestic animal.
Thank you. That's what I want. You understand? But some women love that though. Some women, some women can be very hardworking and everything, but once they get married, they'll just relax. No, because they've been wanting that from the onset. Do you get? So when I noticed that thing is not forthcoming, you want to kill my vision. I have a goal. I need someone that will be able to put in one-on-one, like one or two things together for me. Like maybe I was like, I want to do this thing like it's not. But if you do it like it will be more better. Someone that is more wiser than me that will be able to you do get. I don't think I need to we just need to know what we really want. Like some women, they just need to identify what they want. I can't really talk for every woman though. So women want a man. They want to everything should be like the man dictates everything. Anything the man wants to do. And if anyhow he wants to run the house, my future, anyhow he wants to talk to me to run my future, I'm going to follow. But some of us that, we've started, like some of us, the single ladies, we've been working and we enjoy having our own money because we don't want a situation whereby, we are over dependent on a man. So if a man is not going to buy my own idea about life, I don't think for me, I'll follow that. I'll fall for that. I just have to we have to come to an agreement. We have to talk. If you support my vision, if you want, we go together. But if you don't, I find my way.
Got your back, Abi?
Yep, I am back.
Rosie, you've not said anything.
Right. So that's true, Rosemary. I talk. Is it true that your vision is
When I see me
dependent on
something,
to be?
Auntie Joy, don't be kind of thing.
Oprah Winfrey of this night, don't be small.
Is it true?
Well, I think I'm just going to go with. I don't want to say anything. But anyways,
Talk, my friend.
Don't hear your voice.
I don't think it has to be dependent on the man. The same way the man's vision doesn't have to be dependent on the woman. I think with the same thing what everybody is saying, can two work together so they agree. You have your independent visions, and when you come together, find a meeting point. When you have that meeting point, you move ahead. But there must be a meeting point. But I don't think for me to know what I want to do, or for me to know the kind of life I want to live, or to know the kind of kids I want to have, I need to meet a guy to know that. I should know this even while I'm growing up, even before I got to meet that guy. And when we meet, we now decide or figure out how we can both work together. That's what I think. So I don't think it's dependent on a man or a man dependent on a woman. I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah, it's a personal thing. That's why I said some women love to be dependent on a man. Do you get? They just want that thing. But some of us don't like it, and
I agree with you, Christy. I'm saying it's a personal thing.
Vision with I've met a woman whose vision is to be a proper housewife.
Yeah, women are like
homemaker. That is a vision. To ensure
that's what I'm saying. Is a personal thing. She has decided she wants that. Right?
That person's vision now is not even dependent on the husband's vision.
Exactly.
I want to be a proper mother. I want to raise children. I don't care about the marketplace. I don't want to go out there. There are people who have become strong people like that. They even started talking to other housewives on how to be a proper.
Be like that.
Because it's actually running a home. It's a job.
It's not easy running a home.
Oh yeah.
But Uncle Chris.
It's not a day's job.
Uncle Chris.
My dear.
Like you mean a proper housewife is not dependent on the man?
No, what we're saying.
Can I say something?
What we're saying now is not dependent on the man. I'm saying the vision, the woman's vision is not because of the husband she decided to do that. She finds vision is fulfills you. She finds fulfillment. She might depend on her husband for money. And if you ask me, the money that man gives to her, she has earned it. If the husband is up and down the whole world and securing deals and getting jobs, and the woman is at home taking care of the children, he is able to do what he's doing out there because she is doing what she's doing in there. So he needs to remember that fact. So when he's giving her that gold watch and gold chain and Dubai vacation, she should understand that she also gave him value for that value. Because he's able to make, so let her not see it as a my husband dashed me. I'm not saying she should be grateful, but understand that the reason why he's able to do what he's doing is because you did what you did. Sorry. You understand my point? So I think it's all in the way the person carries himself or herself. Don't see yourself.
Yes, thank you.
As making you are dependent, or God give me that, or God give me that.
Yeah.
So I think if it's your vision for life, then explore it.
Yeah. Sorry, just to add to what you said, I just think like kids, like when we're growing up at 5, at 10, you wanted to be a particular person. You didn't wait to meet somebody to be that particular person or to want to be that particular person, right? I think I stand to be corrected, but I think it's only people that have low self-esteem that would depend on somebody else to have a vision. Even low self-esteem person even has a vision self to even start with. But I feel...
Let me say something, please. Dependency in this context is in the area of relationship. Personally, if there is nothing like relationship, if relationship is not involved, dependency, nobody is expected to depend on anybody at all. But in a place of relationship where you know that, yes, I'm going into a relationship with so and so person, I think from my own point of view, there is a level of dependency for the two people who are going into that relationship. Because if, like Bro Chris said, if the husband is traveling from one country to the other, securing deals and doing all those things, and the wife is at home doing just the housework, taking care of the children, and doing all those things, the husband is dependent on the woman because the woman is doing a job for him, which is aiding him. Because the wife is at home, that's why he is able to do what he's doing over there. And because the husband is over there securing deals and making money, that's why the wife is living comfortably where she is. Now, when it comes to relationship, there is a level of dependency that is required. But when it comes to personal vision, you shouldn't, your vision as a woman should not depend solely on your husband, because there is an alignment. You guys agreed on an alignment. That is why the relationship is working. Now, if your vision depended on the man's own, it means that the man is in charge of her vision. The man can tell her, no, this one will not work because I don't want it like this, and it will work like that. No, but because it is a relationship, it's a home that you guys want to build together, there is a level of dependency which we cannot deny. And at that same time, there are areas which you see as a no-go area as a man, because it is your wife's vision. So her vision that you see that is bringing happiness and joy to the family, that is helping you at the same time to achieve your own goal, is not dependent on you at all. But in the area of you, what you are doing is helping your wife to achieve her own area. It means that's alignment. That's a level of dependency that I can tag alignment. Because from what I'm doing, I'm aiding my wife to achieve her own vision. We are depending on each other on that particular area because we agreed to align. Because there is an agreement, and we agreed to align.
Sorry, Emmanuel, I'm sorry. What the question is saying, or what I think it's saying is, does a woman's vision have to be dependent on her husband or her partner? So you don't see, we're saying that a woman does not have to be dependent on her partner to have a vision. However, when you guys now come together, you now know where to draw the balance. But you don't need a partner to be to know what vision you want.
But
it's a personal thing.
Rose, like I told you, like I said the other time, I said there are two different kind of women. Some women, they just want to depend. They just want like that thingy. Do you understand?
That thing of wanting to depend is not a decision she made by herself. Did she wait to meet the partner before she now made that decision?
She's depending on the man now. right? Because the man makes the rules and makes everything go.
Are you talking
Chrissy,
money?
you're talking about money. You're not talking about vision.
Not rules, oh, not money, oh, not money, oh.
Not like money.
So when you say the woman is
It's not
completely
money, oh, like you're
dependent
depending on your husband for
For what?
everything.
for what? To think for you, to direct the cost
Some
of
people
your
do
life.
that.
To tell you where to
Do
bait, to
that.
tell you to
Like
bait
it's
the
a head,
when
it's a
to,
head.
which housemate to hire.
As in, know the kind of clothes I want to wear, to know if I want to fix my nails or I want
Some
finishing
does that.
products.
Okay,
know,
I
man.
think the thing, okay, I would like to say something here. I understand what Christy is talking about. In this day and age, this generation, actually, I think there's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of wannabes. There's a lot of people just flowing without having an understanding. You get. Now, a woman that doesn't have a vision for her life, she doesn't know what she wants and what she doesn't want. Obviously, from what I'm saying. So we are talking about a particular set of women that don't even know what they want and what they don't want.
That's why I said they have two types of women.
Good.
Some knows what they want and some don't know what they want.
Okay, so in that case of people that don't know what they want, that means you're saying the man determines everything. The wedding, the kids, everything. You don't know.
Everything. Her own is just like, yes.
Very shallow.
Because,
I'm sorry to say that woman must be very shallow. I'm not sure
Very.
exists.
But there are people like that.
They are.
Extremely low
Yeah,
self-esteem.
but in a contemporary world like this, it's not proper. And it will be difficult for you to see a woman of that level.
Where did she come from?
Yeah, hearing what you're saying.
Wait, so this one is our own
I want to clear the air about something. Now I want to understand something, Christy. When you say the woman is visionless, she doesn't have any vision. Are you saying there was a part you talked about because you as a single lady, you've been working, you've been spending for yourself, you understand what it means to make your own money. So this woman that is completely dependent, is it because she's not working? That is why you say she's dependent on her husband.
It's not that.
Saying everything.
Okay, so I want to
It's
just
not that.
Everything.
okay, I want to understand
She's
that.
just a
Because I wanted to understand that part.
No.
So
Please,
because
let
the
me.
fact that a
No
woman
need, no need.
is not
Like
working,
Mr. What's his name? Mr. Emmanuel, he said something just now that some, like, okay, your husband said it too. Some women, they just want to be housewife. Housewife is a work on its own.
full-time job.
stay home.
Yeah,
Stay home.
it's a work on its own.
Mhm.
There are
I don't know
different
how much
women.
someone can take it to
There are some
yourself.
women that even if they say they want to be housewives, they don't even know what it is to be an housewife.
Now what are you doing now?
They just say that thingy.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
To be a housewife comes with a lot of responsibilities. It's a work on its own.
Homekeeping, everything.
Do you get? But some people, they don't really like know what it is. That's why you see that some home keep falling apart. You say you want to be an housewife, but only you will employ 3 housemaids or 2.
But
Do you
I don't
get?
think
If you want to be
you're managing them. If you're managing them, yes.
And you're at home doing
Because
no,
it depends on the size of the
no,
house. It depends on the size of the house.
no. What if the man's income? We have to look at things.
You understand? I get what
You understand?
What I'm saying is
I'm
that
not. See, let me tell you something. I'm saying this thing out of what I've seen. I'm not saying this thing out of what I'm thinking. I work with a lot of people. I've seen this thing, and it's not working. That's why I see the men get tired. They disrespect them. They don't come home. They do a lot of shit, and the women they don't send. They'll be like, I have like 3 or 4 women I know personally, my customers. I noticed, the relationship wasn't good, but me, I know that, okay, this woman chose a lifestyle to be a housewife. The man provides everything, but, you don't do the duty of a housewife. If your
Sorry,
duty
Christy, are you sure we're not mixing it up with the fund part, the woman funding for herself and the vision she wants?
No, it's not what, no.
It's not fun to understand what she's
Not
saying.
fun.
It's not
Okay.
fun.
They're useless. That's the word.
It's not fun.
Say you are not working, for instance. I think what Christy is saying, you are not working, you are home. But you are not fending for your kids. Your kids are dirty from morning.
Thank you. Your kids are left
You
for
will
the
not
house
take care
help,
of
you
them.
know.
Okay.
You cannot make
Okay.
You don't
They
no.
are useless.
you
People are
cannot
afraid to
make
say
sure
it.
that your home is clean
Some
and
women, that's why I was saying it. They have two type of women. See, those women that want to be a total housewife and do the responsibility, they fall into the other ones that knows what they want. Do you get? Then there are other ones, they just be like, they just want to live the life. You know. So that's what I mean. It's not like, I know a lot of people. I'm not saying like I know a lot of people that you don't even envy. It's crazy. You feel for the husband.
yeah, makes
You
sense.
feel for the man.
I think
This discussion is
everyone
gearing towards making us understand that in this present
Age of find ourselves.
time and age, you don't align your vision to that of your husband totally.
I think
Thank you.
let me say something.
Okay.
Let me say something. Okay, let me use I think I understand what she's trying to say. There are women who this is not about funds now. It's about having an idea of where you want to be. You're looking at the next 10 years, the next 20 years, the next 30 years. Where do I want to be? How do I want my life to be?
Vision,
And
that's
all that.
vision.
There are women who actually are not even sure where they want
At
to go.
all.
It's different from actually talking about funds. They're ready to do any kind of business. As far as money is coming in, they are contributing, they are comfortable. It's different from knowing where they want to be. There's a difference. Okay, before I married my husband, as soon as he told me he wanted to marry me, I told him, see, I want to be an SAN. I want to have my law firm. I was so like, this is what I want. So if you know that you're ready, to actually work with me, you're building your own career, I'm building my own career. In the next 20 years, this is where I want to be. The next 20 years, this is where you want to be. We understood ourselves and then we're able to align. We're like, okay, we'll work together. These are the places that will make sacrifices and all that. But now, I think what Chrissy is trying to say is women who are not sure of where they want to be. Anything goes. Anything goes. They may not necessarily be lazy, valueless women. But maybe women who are just, yes. Wait, I think they are just men who are not sure of how the future is going to be. Their own is okay, however the waves carry
The
me.
left face, that's what they call them.
Let me give you an example.
But for me, I would say, before you actually give that yes, I think it's really important that you know what you want. Because the thing is, if you don't know what you want, you will settle for anything. You will marry any kind of person. Because anything works for you.
Chidima,
Yes, then.
that yes are for people that knows what they want. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because you know what you want, that's why you said yes. Some people, their just main aim is to get married. Anything goes.
So now, but the thing now is that I think Jonathan, say what. Let's Jonathan. Let me know.
Jonathan, please.
Jonathan, say what I'm saying.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, we've been talking about vision, and the first thing I would like to clarify is, just like even church organizations, they have vision and they have mission. I've been listening to many conversations, and let me start with what Christy has been saying. The truth is, there are many influences, in families, in how people grow up, that determines even if they have vision at all. See, I grew up in a city where, they say like 80% of them, they don't even travel abroad. They don't go to other states. I'm not going to mention the city, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm in a city where the men don't work. I'm not from there. Like, it's not my state of origin, but I was born and bred there, you understand? The men are lazy. Typical of those men are lazy. Okay, that's just anyway.
Just wow.
Now, early in the morning, what they do is the money that the wives use, like the wife go to the market or go to the farm, they'll give to the man a little. That man will go and use it and drink. See, already that type of man can never have a vision. Vision zero, mission zero. Now, I want to go to the ladies. There are some ladies who they grew up seeing their mothers as just typical housewives. So because of how close they were so close with their mothers kind of influenced their upbringing. Like, even their psyche was influenced by their mothers. So they don't even have any vision in life. They just see themselves as, me, I will marry you. If I will cook, I will cook. I will shall take care of the children. And we've been talking about this housewife thing. The truth is, we know in this generation, eh, it is not even secure for a woman to just be a housewife alone. And I'll tell people why. So a friend I used to have before, her dad was rich, like MD of a company. He was taking care of so many family members. You understand? One illness befell him, and I'm telling you, his whole world crumbled. But I'll tell you one thing that happened that kind of saved his family. Yeah, the wife insisted that she wants to go to school, further education, and then she started working with ITF. When she joined ITF, she kept on improving herself, go to like even director level. When this illness befell this man, the wife was the one placing her husband on salary, not because like he could work and he didn't want to work, but because he was kind of disabled, he had to always be at home. But you know what? She was the one giving him money, so that from that money he can even fend for the children, still giving him that respect and accord. Imagine that while they were blossoming in all those riches, she stood there and saying, you know what, I'll just be a housewife. My wife is providing everything. So I just want us to put a balance to this. Christy is right. There are some girls who have grown up under the influence of, see, this life now the way it be. I will shall marry, nothing may happen, no vision. See, when we talk of vision, even when you're dating someone, yeah, the person doesn't have to tell you what to do. Now, let me give an example. The truth is, 10 years ago, we didn't have Instagram. Understand? If I had maybe someone, even though I was probably a teenager or I was just growing up, I couldn't have said, say, maybe I'll start doing business on Instagram. But maybe by what I'm telling my fiancée now, if I tell her that, 5 years ago in secondary school, I was already doing business. So I used to sell milk, candy, and the rest. She can know that I'm an industrious person. So I have a vision of owning my industry. Vision doesn't actually mean what you're doing now. Vision just means that you have a vision that at some certain point in time, you're going to be a great person. Whatever opportunities are rolling out at that time, you're going to dive into it. So many investments that are coming now, Instagram businesses and the rest, we didn't have them back then. People are just rolling into it. Uncle Chris, I'm very sure he didn't start, his company when Nollywood rolled in from the scratch. There was a point where, he dove into it. But I'm very sure as at the time when Auntie Joy was about to marry Uncle Chris, she knows that this guy has a vision. And I listened to a message to this morning. Pastor Sam Adeyemi was saying it. He was like, that's the problem with many men. Many men are like, they need to hammer first before they marry. But that if a genuine woman would marry a man with a vision, if we drink Gary temporarily, let's drink it. But I know someday I will enjoy it. I know my wife is hearing me, but there was one thing she told me when we used to do that. And she said, see, me, as we're in the marriage, I'm still here to chop your money. Like she said it clearly to me. Why? Because I was telling her, like, these are the things I've been doing right from secondary school. And these are the things I'm willing to do. I'll be honest with you, I never saw myself doing poultry farming. I never thought I would do poultry farming. But I opened the poultry like exactly 1 year ago, in Jos. This never came to my mind. So, but this is my own mission to achieve the vision of being someone great. This is my own mission of being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur has been my vision from childhood. So I know I need us to even clearly distinguish, between having a vision. Vision is not something that might be now. It's just that we are working towards it. For example, if our vision is church growth doesn't have a point where we reach and we are saying we are done. Even if we are 1 million, we still want to grow again to 2 million. It's a continuous thing that happens. So, I've been listening to, I know everyone has giving different points of view, but I feel like everyone is scoring in one way or the other. But I'm really agreeing with Christy that there are people that have zero vision. Honestly, I've met people like that.
But sorry guys, I think we need to stay in the context of, I want to ask a question. Do those people exist in this forum? No. So let's not waste our energy on that. If any lady here
Uncle Chris, we're recording.
I know.
We're recording and we want people to be able to identify them and run away from them.
I agree. What I'm saying.
Yes.
I was going to ask that question. If you are a lady, what makes you turn out to be like that? Why? Is it God? Is it God that's leading you, or is it what?
In this generation,
if you are a guy, how did you get stuck with such a lady? What attracted you to her?
Uncle Chris, no, you are talking to us. We know what we want. We're talking about people out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying we're spending so much time.
Now we know what we want.
Much time this time talking about that. Yes, those people are. So let's move on. That's what let's move.
It's left for us, it's our mission. That's why God sent us into this world. He said, go. Okay. So we should not limit, this chat to be us.
Yes, I agree.
I
I
agree. I
agree.
agree. I agree. I get your
Honestly.
point. Okay, I see. 30, don't sleep.
Sleep care.
That is downloaded. But you have vision,
Anyway, yeah.
Abi.
I mean,
But
no, now I don't have vision. I just want to sit at home and collecting free money.
No, and that's why you
Take
need
care
your
of
Really,
my
a
That
house.
one self na vision.
Like just like for
Right.
instance, just like Mr. Yomi now. Mr. Yomi can stay in the office till like 11:30, 12, 2
Why?
a.m. He'll be coming back home by 2 a.m.
who is
But
that?
he doesn't have a wife that understands that, Mr. Yomi. He doesn't have a wife that understands that, okay, oh, this man, he's head of finance. We know they sleep. And then, I mean, once in a while, maybe when you have auditors or you have your regulators coming, you will have to close late. This is why you can't be running home when your guy is still working. It's because Auntie Sarah understands that, okay, this is kind of the nature of my husband's job. So, and then they are friends. She's not thinking, oh, maybe he's in one woman's house or he's in one hotel or whatever. It's all about, working together. Anyway, let's go to the third question. Those alignment.
Please say hi to Auntie Tine before we move forward. Sorry.
Oh, Auntie Tine, good evening.
Hello, everybody. I trust we're doing all well.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Miss you.
Yeah, miss
She
you
will say Happy New Year.
too. Okay. I just joined not too long, so I'm listening to the conversation.
All
Alright.
Okay.
You're welcome, ma. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, to the third question. Does alignment?
Before we move on
Yeah.
to the third question, please, I want to say something.
Okay.
While we were talking about women and vision and not being dependent on your husband and all, something dropped in my heart. As women, sure you know you cannot forget your children, except you don't have children.
Exactly.
But we are in a time and generation.
Sorry, what did you say?
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Forget your children. Forget your children.
Yes.
We are in a time whereby people are so consumed with making my money, pursuing my money. I have to hammer me too. I have to be, the pressure to make it now is more selfish. Kids are lost. I'm telling you, kids are so lost these days than ever before. Our parents, I had a mom. My mom was a banker. My dad was a banker. They would go in the morning, come back in the evening. And I know what that meant. That time, when there was no social media, there was no a lot of things as we have these days. Now, in these days of ours, because everybody is running away, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, everybody wants to be a career woman, everybody wants to do this or that, which is very, very, is allowed. Because when there's no money at times, there's frustration. You understand my point? But there is need for balance. There is need for balance. Mm-hmm. As women, we are saying, as a woman, I should have vision, I should run after my money, I should make my money, I should do all of that. Your children cannot be lost in the place of you finding your vision or running after your vision. Your children should not be lost, because a lot of women have gone ahead, left their children in the hands of house help. House help will feed, bathe. They know the house help more than they know you. Yeah. Do you understand? I have a friend, a close friend of mine. She walked away from her job towards the end of last year. What was her reason? She said it was getting too much. She leaves in the morning and she comes back in the night. And she lives like that, like every day of the year. Weekends she goes, Sundays go, fill up ATM, come back. She grew. She was actually in one of the, she was earning well. You get my point? She was earning well. But she walked away from that job. You get? And what was her reason? It was not like she had made all the money in the world, or she will not need more money to make, or she will not need more money. But, when you are on a trip and you know that this trip is greed, I'm on this trip because I am greedy. It's not because I want to help my family or support my family or support myself, but because I want to just keep amassing and making and amassing for myself. That just came to my mind. So we have to create a balance, please. As we are pursuing this money, please let your children know.
Lambo. That yeah, you know what? Yes, you're very right. Some women, they don't really know what they want to get. Like we said it, if you're pursuing a career as a woman, you should be able to strike a balance. That is why let me tell you my secret. One secret I did now. Before I'm doing boutique buying and selling.
Yeah.
Did you get?
Yeah.
One day, was it last year or last 2 years, I sat down. I thought about this thing. I said, Christy, what if you're married and you're pregnant? Did you just enter flight and travel to go and buy goods? It's stressful. Okay, what if you not give birth to a child? That's a woman that thinks. I'm telling you my own way of thinking. What if you not give birth to a child? You'll not be able to travel. Some women will drop a 3 months or 6 months and say, okay, do something.
Yeah.
You'll not be able to travel. So how you gonna run this business, my dear? That thing frustrated me. I was lying down on my bed. I was thinking, I was like, okay, Christy, you know that when you get married, and if some people will say, I will establish contacts, and those people will be sending me the things I need. But you know that if you're not there to see the thing yourself, though, I now start. I was thinking, Christy, what can you do? What can you do that will strike a balance whereby your workforce is going? You can leave the house anytime you want. You can take care of your house. Your money is coming. People are running, the money is coming. You have the time. Like me, if I decide not to go to work 1 week, I can be on my phone and making call and business is going for me. So that's what every woman should be able to sit down. Like me, I don't really like career women. No. Hey, sorry, Rose and Toti.
Yes, and me too. And me too. You should apologize. Apologize to me.
Sorry. Justina, my friend. Sorry.
Justina is looking at you.
All the women on the page are career women.
You understand? Once you're a career woman, that's one thing I told someone. If you have, like me, when growing up, I was like 15, 13, 14. My mom told me once, say, Christy, you cannot work for anybody. I said, me, I know. I cannot work because I have my own time. I take my time to do my thing. If I want to wake up, I take my time. I rub my cream, jelly. I'm not rushing. You get? You see, I already know the I take my time. So my mom
to rush.
I don't like it. At that age, my mom used to tell me that, Christy, you cannot work for anybody. I said, Mommy, I know. I will not work for anybody. So 16 years, I started picking up. Sometimes I was telling my friends when I was 16 years, 17 years, I say, babe, do you know that if somebody gives me 4 billion naira, I feel thanked, but I know what to do with that money. It will not take my time, there are workforce that will be working for you, and they are multiplying the money. Your own is just to go supervise, As a woman, that's what every woman should look at. Do you get? When I started my business, that thing dealt with me, this traveling, sometimes I have to travel. My brothers used to be scared. They would say, Christy, Haba, you be woman, no. You be woman, no. I'll be like, so I sat down one day, I thought of this thing. I said, Christy, if you're pregnant, you can't run this thing. Because it's not, even sometimes when I come back from my trip, I used to sick. Stress myself to get the cheaper rates because I want a good quality, small money for my customers. It's not easy. So I'm like, when I'm married now, I will not be able to keep up. My business will suffer. My income will suffer. You know, so I now thought about this thing and I said, Christy, you need to be doing service. You know, service, you don't need to render service. You don't need all those, you get what I'm saying? People can do that for you. Why you are the boss, you just have the fund. Just have the fund. You do the everything, then people will do the service for you. You get, and I said, that's good though. My mom was a tailor. Let me go and learn tailoring. My dad, I went to spend money in a fashion house. But when I sat down, because I remember that my mom would tell me her back. I sat down. My back too be paining me. I say, eh? I said, no. You know, this is what women should be thinking. I'm just saying, like Madam Joy, she said something. This is what we should be thinking. And I sat down and said, Christy, if your back they pay you this kind of small age, I was just 29 then. What can happen when you're like 40, 50? It's not better for you to just sit down. I started learning from people. You know, sometimes I'll go to some people's office, I'll sit down. I'll be listening, I'll be reading some books, I'll be going to people's pages. Sometimes I go to Instagram to be doing aproko, but I'm reading what people, like of recent, sorry, I went to UTC. I learned how to print sticker. They don't know. The guy think I was not watching him. I was watching with one eye. No, my voice is like, my voice is like,
oh, Christy is very passionate.
Very passionate.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I now sat down, I said, if I get married now with this business of buying and selling, I have to be there.
You don't talk this married sis now. If you get married, what are they finished? Make that person.
You will.
Who is talking? Who is talking? Who is talking, please?
You get? So as a woman, that's what you should think. You get? So I thought, okay, let me go into service. Rendering of service.
We understand, you know.
Whereby if I'm not there, like of recent, I learned about quality control manager. So there will be a stage I will get to. I have to employ quality control because now as a single girl I can monitor my quality. But when I now start having kids, I should be to employ quality control manager. So I can be in my house 1 month then.
Christy, you know what? I think one day we will make you our guest speaker. You will teach us business. You will teach us about business and all. But tonight,
I'm a married woman, you know. Auntie Joy, that's what I'm saying.
I understand you.
The Lambo herself.
Calm down. Calm your heart down.
We have to cut you short. Auntie Tina, please go on.
I thought I was the one that was the problem in this group. Now I no more. I'm handing over to Christy. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much. And good evening, everyone, once again. Yeah. We are all looking relaxed and looking good. Yeah. So I wanted to I think for me, most of the times I try to look at the balance in everything. I agree with what Joy said, that for women, we have children and you have to look into that and not be selfish. And the other side of the coin that I wanted to bring on board is that sometimes women that are doing this thing is not necessarily because they are selfish. It's not just because of them. Sometimes the truth is that they have no choice at the point where they are. In a way, I want to say it that way, in a way, they have no choice. Because sometimes you just find yourself in a place where you have to put in everything to keep the home going, to keep the house moving. especially, and women tend to be the ones that really find themselves in this corner sometimes. And that's because of our makeup. When your husband is not able to meet up, there's no food in the house, I tell you, the woman, it carries that burden. Because when the children are hungry, they're going to come to you and say, Mommy, I want to eat. So a lot of times, women actually carry that burden. I love the dimension that Christy is also bringing, which is the dimension of always thinking and always evolving, asking yourself, what can I do differently? What do I need to do? And the balance to that is to also ask the question, where am I right now? Where am I right now? You know, I don't know how many of us were able to, the ladies were able to join the women's breakfast meeting with Reverend Mother this morning. She talked about, that really got to me, she talked about Maslow's law of need. I don't know if we've all heard that, where you have 5 basic needs, starting from your physiological need. With your, is it physiological or psychological need now? Which one do you, I think it's physiological. Yes, thank you. Which is basic needs. They need to eat, to have food, to eat, to survive.
Yeah.
That's the first level. And from there, when you have food, you begin to think of your safety, security. When you have safety, you now can think of love. After love, you begin to look at self-esteem, and then you actually get to self-actualization, which is the goal at the end of the day. So asking yourself, where am I, will be useful for you. Where are you? Because some women are just at that basic physiological need. They want to get food. But there is something that sets us apart, which is the God factor, that we have God in the inside of us. So even when you are at that place, God will give you the wisdom to be able to say, what do I need to do? So what are the points I'm trying to put at the bottom? And then at every stage of our lives, I tell you, the dynamics are different. I'm so glad that we have single ladies like Christy, who is thinking, who is looking. But the truth of the matter is that when you get married, the dynamics will change. When you have children, the dynamics will change. At every level of growth of those children, when you have toddlers, the dynamics is different. When you begin to have them as teenagers, the dynamics are different. When you begin to have them at marriageable age, they are adult now, the dynamics is different. So the whole point is that in life, at every point, the dynamics are different. And you just you move along with the dynamics, and you continue to ask wisdom and the grace of God. Now, I don't know how I got here, but I know that what we're basically trying to talk about is that balance between man and woman. That balance and bringing something to the table. A lot of times it's about understanding. It's about agreements. What do we want to do right now? So you have a husband and wife, both of you are, this is it, we need to move around. I remember, interestingly, not that we really planned it, when I got married, I was working in government and my husband was working in a bank. And I realized, even though the dynamics have changed now, I realized that then I was more with the children. I used to spend a lot of time with the children because my husband goes out, he comes back very late in the night. When he comes back in the night, he has his own moments with the children. But most of the time, I was with the children. At some point, the dynamics changed. My husband was no longer in the bank. I got a job with an NGO. I was the one who was always in the office most of the time. I closed late. At that point, my husband was now the one that was so much with the children most of the time. And he was the one that was interacting with them and everything. And when I come back, I have my own moment with the children. So I think that understanding between the two people, I'm sure Joy and Chris will agree with me on that. And any other person that is married. That place of being together, this is where we are right now. How do we need to strike the balance? Because everybody has a role to play. One last thing I will say before I go is that even when I came in, we were talking, I think it was Christy and then Jonathan also spoke when he was talking about women and the fact that we should have, we should have a vision, we should know what we want and all that. The most important thing, I think a lot of times when we're getting married is that let our focus not be, I don't want to suffer again. I want a man that can take care of me, that can give me everything that I want. I don't want to suffer in this life. I've suffered enough. I don't want those problems. I don't want all those issues. Rather, I think the focus should be, I want a man that I can fulfill purpose and destiny with. And if that is our focus, I'm telling you, every other thing will be secondary. Every other thing will be secondary. When you meet that person that, I agree with this person, we can achieve something together, we can fulfill destiny together, every other thing will become secondary. And in this, my short life, the lesson I've learned, sometimes you get married, everything is good, everything is rosy, challenges will come. And that will test you. It will rock you like you never believed it was going to rock you. It's at different levels. A lady once told me that when she was getting married, she was like, my own story will be different. My story will be different. All these ones that people always say, this will happen, my own will be different. When she was talking, the day she was talking to me, I laughed. I almost fell off my chair. Because she was now telling me about all her challenges in marriage and everything. And now to her, I said, but really, your case is different. Because the challenges you're going through might not be the same challenges I'm going through. But God will always give you an answer of peace and show you how to handle it at the place where you are at. So I hope that the few things I've thrown in there has kind of like helped someone, maybe, to get clarity to these things. I really appreciate the discussion that is going on. I appreciate the dimensions that we're bringing in. At every point in time, let's look at the balance in whatever it is. And it's a partnership. I tell you, it's a partnership, but a lot of times there will be different things that will rock the boat. But when it rocks the boat, because it's a partnership and holding hands together, you'll be able to stable the boat again and to continue the race and to move on. And I believe that God will help us. Thank you.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, ma.
Auntie Tine.
Rosie, baby.
Okay, let's quickly go to the fourth question to round up. It's already past 10.
The third or the fourth?
How can couples align their visions and dreams? First of all, couples should answer this question before single people. So, Ima, are you still awake?
Hello.
Okay, Ima, how can couples align their visions and dreams?
I believe couples should align their vision and dreams. One, first of all, let me categorically let's state it in 4 places. One, you should first of all plan. Planning is very important when it comes to alignment of dreams and purposes and visions. You plan together on how to achieve her own and my own at the same time. Both of you have to plan how to make sure that the two, when aligned, how to make sure that your own vision and your dream does not affect the other party negatively. When you make sure that when they align, both of you can achieve what God wants you to achieve at the same time. That is where purpose comes in. That dream that you have over your family, over your future, over your tomorrow, how you want everything to work out. by aligning your vision and your dreams together, by planning, then you'll be able to achieve that. Secondly, there must be a room for communication. Couples cannot stay. They fail to communicate how they want it to the next person, or they are the picture they pictured to the next person. I cannot have a picture of how I want my tomorrow to be, and I won't communicate it to my wife, so that I will build about the picture of our tomorrow together. So we need to communicate it together, plan it together, and then have an agreement. If we don't agree, we cannot align. That agreement is where alignment is based. As in, once you have an agreement, there is an alignment, because both of you begin to see the picture. Both of you begin to see the picture that you've created. The same picture, not different picture now. You see the same picture that you've created for your tomorrow or for your future now. So once the both of you understand that, then it will help you to go a long way. Then secondly, you have to also make sacrifices. You cannot say we are applying our vision together. We want to align our vision. Where sacrifices will not come in. There must be a place for sacrifice. You will sacrifice, you will sacrifice, and then align. If the sacrifices are not there, you may not value the vision and the dreams you are having. Then finally, prayer. There is nothing you can achieve in this world without God. So once you bring God as a third party, as the third party, you can bring it first or anywhere. But what I'm trying to tell you, make you to understand is that okay. Now there is always the third party factor. When you make God the director, when you make him your focal point, you cannot miss it on the way. So all these things must be in place for us to align and for the home to be a happy place. Because if you don't align, there is no way the home will be a happy place. But once the alignment is there and the foundation is laid very strong, just go and enjoy yourselves together. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay. Thank you. Jonathan, over to you. So, what's your own lesson? How can couples align with visions and dreams? How did you align yours, or how are you planning to align yours? So what is the alignment between you and your wife? Oh, Jonathan, can't hear you.
Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I said, like the last speaker said, Mr. Emmanuel, having God at the center of your relationship matters a lot. You know, like at times, you know, it's used to seem like you are over spiritualizing some things, but it's not it, honestly. I remember one time Uncle Chris said something, and honestly, I think it's one of the best gifts you can have going into a marriage or a relationship, like hearing from God. Now, we're not saying you must hear in a loud voice. You enter the bathroom and you hear a voice speaking to you. It could be through His word. There could be different ways God will talk to you, but just find any way God can talk to you. Now, why I'm saying this is because, you know, we've even this aligning vision and this thing. Now, let me give you guys a scenario and tell me what you do. Let's say you never opted to marry a pastor, and I'm saying this happens to my aunt. She's just next to my dad, right? Her husband used to be a driver, like he does public transport. He was just here. He goes to church normally, not that he was firebrand like that, right? And after how many years in the marriage, it seems like he just had an encounter with God. And then he started a ministry. Now, as at the time he was marrying his wife, I am very sure he never told her I want to be a pastor. He himself probably didn't know he was going to be a pastor. What I'm trying to say is, see, there are some visions that later come to manifest that you didn't know, because God is the owner of your life. In the Bible speaking in John 15 said, He said, I chose you, you didn't choose me. So there are things that God might have chosen you for. And at that point, if your wife cannot adapt to it, so what I'm trying to say is there are some alignments. When we say alignment also has to do with adaptation. If God has given maybe your wife, your husband, something to actualize, if your wife doesn't have the capacity to adapt to that vision, that family might break. Not because you have a problem, but because she might not be spiritually sensitive enough to understand that God is leading you this way. We all know what Brother Elijah was telling us the other time, how, he was looking for jobs and then jobs were not forthcoming, like even lesson teacher. Why? Because God had a different purpose for his life. Now imagine if at the end of the day he said, okay, God is leading him this way, and his wife is like, I'm not doing it again. I'm no more marrying you. I divorce you. That type of thing. I cannot cope. Is he word of God that will bring food to the table? So alignment, yes. Part of it is, sitting down, discussing, having plans together. They are all very important. But what I'm saying is, see, when you put God at the center of your life, God will always bring someone to you that maybe at the right time, when he wants you to go this way, the person too will support you. The person too will support your dreams. The person too will support your vision. So having God at the center of it, to me, is the most important. So, and you asked me, like, what are me and my wife probably doing to align? Me and her have talked about over a couple of things. I've realized she also has, a passion of owning businesses. She has, one day we're sitting down, we're talking about things I wanted to do, and she started telling me what she wanted to dream. Well, what she was saying, I could see my vision embedded in it. Like, I could see her business kind of patronizing my own business, and my business even patronizing hers. Like, I see our businesses collaborating together for greater things, and that way, it's aligning. And like, Mr. Emmanuel was saying, if couples don't agree, honestly, it might not work. If, for example, maybe a woman says she wants to start selling garlic, the husband says he cannot deal with garlic smell, there's a problem. You understand? So some of this, it might look like minor issues, but they really cause cracks in marriages. So this is my little, take on the alignment. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Auntie Joy. Auntie Joy, do you have anything to say?
Say it again. Tell her, Auntie Joy. She doesn't have anything to say. She's saying go to mechanic shop, go to alignment shop, and submit your.
Go to alignment shop. Okay. Who hasn't said anything? Sam Brown.
Oh, Sam Brown is here. That's true. Wait, if I say anything.
As in, Sam Brown is here. Yeah, Sam Brown.
MDCU.
Brown come.
Harry Brown come.
So.
Are you sure he's here?
He's
here.
Sam. Let me say why.
Okay.
I was going to share something briefly.
He's observing executive meditation.
Huh? Who's talking? Okay, so I was going to say something. There's something
Nobody is talking.
You said earlier in this conversation that I think we have kept on the side. I don't know if it's either Emmanuel or my wife or Chidima or someone about family vision, that each person can have their visions and not have family vision. Yeah. I'm going to illustrate with the company. So a company has maybe 50 staff or 100 staff, or maybe like 10 staff in their SMT, in their senior management team. So you forgive my son for shouting. Now, each of those people have their own life visions. So maybe the MD wants to be a mountain climber. Maybe the accountant wants to be a lovely husband. They all have their personal dreams and visions. But when they come under the canopy of that company, they have to use their strength and the energy their personal visions have given to them to pursue the collective vision of the company. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So they have to look for a common interest among all of them and find a common strength and now gather around that strength and pursue the vision of the company. What I think a lot of people try to do, which I think is not, if you notice when God gave man authority, he gave him authority over the fishes of the sea, the birds of the air, the animals that creep upon the earth. He didn't give him authority over any other man. Human beings are meant to partner with other human beings and not to lord over human beings. So if I am getting married to a wife, I use the word a wife here. She has a vision I have my vision. I cannot say because I'm the man, I'm going to use my vision and lord over her own vision. What we need to do is to sit down, based on our spiritual exposure, and seek for a vision for the family we are trying to create. Please note, vision for family is beyond number of children. Vision of family is beyond, you know what I'm saying? You know, I remember one pastor, one man I met, who was sharing a story about how all his daughters were raised to be pastors' wives. And all his daughters are married to pastors. They are popular pastors' wives now. A lot of them, Adi Francis' wife or Sakwe's wife, there are plenty of them. They were raised to be pastors' wives. I don't understand that calling, I don't understand, but it shall worked out. So I'm not saying it must be that specific, but it can be peculiar to just raise children or raise a family that can be a spectacle or whatever. Whatever the vision, it could be to help the needy, it could be anything. But this family must have a vision. Then that vision must be a, how do I put this? When you're watching a football match, the left winger is crossing the ball from the left, and the right guy from the right, and the center guy is trying to head the ball into the post. All of them are working with their strengths to achieve one vision, to make their team win. But everybody doesn't have to play the same way. Everybody doesn't have to occupy the same position. In fact, the goalkeeper is using his hands. But if he doesn't use his hands well, the person in front will not be able to score well. So everybody needs to use their strength to achieve this. So what I would say is one way to align our visions is to find a common ground in a family vision. So one question every family should ask themselves is, what is the vision of my family? What I'm not saying you should go and say to create a forum where God can flow his people in understanding. I'm not saying you should not go and get hunted. If you can get to that level, fine. But I'm saying when people come and they see your children, what do you want to? When people see your wife, what do you want to say about your wife? What exactly? What picture of? What picture? Sorry, Jody, I can't even hear myself.
Allow him to talk. He's backing you up.
So we have a preacher in our house, so he's preaching on his own.
Yep.
So that's one. The second thing, and I wish my wife was here to hear this one, is learning. I've noticed recently, you know, thank God for lockdown, but I've noticed that one thing that couples undermine is the process of learning together. Have you noticed how you and your classmates, when you are doing a course in secondary school, in primary school, in university, or even now that you're an adult and you go to do your master's, you know how because both of you guys are learning the same course, there's a way that there's some common interests. There's a way that there's a flow between you and those people. You know, I think we need to learn. We need to learn together as a family. What I mean is, when you learn together, as in, you know, it's not for you to know, me, I'm the husband, I know how to do stuff. My wife knows how to do stuff. We now come and combine brain. But you know, one thing that keeps a football team together also is that they train together. They come every day, they are jogging together. They come every day, they are skipping together. They come every day, they are swimming together. That thing helps them because it gives them the same mentality. Let me tell you something. If you ask a Word of Faith Christian church member a question, there's a particular way the person will answer the question. If you ask another church, if you ask the Word of Faith member about Holy Communion, what the person will tell you is very similar to what Brother Tosin will tell you. The same thing what Mr. Gata will tell you or what Brother Ima will tell you. Because we learn in the same forum. So there's a way that our mentality is shaping in that direction. But a lot of times couples learn, I'm not saying we must know the same thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying learning is different from knowledge. Learning is exposure to knowledge. So expose yourself to knowledge that you think is necessary for your family. It could even be maybe for financial intelligence. It could be for emotional intelligence. It could be for anything. But subject yourself to some sort of learning. Like as you're learning together, there will be some sort of connection. And it will be rubbing off and all. The Bible says that iron sharpens iron. So does the countenance a man does to his friend. There will be that thing. I think we need to look at that. So that's my 2 points are learn together and have a family vision. Because let's not forget that marriage is not about getting. It's about giving. I have my strengths. I come into this marriage because I have what I need to give to Joy. Joy comes with her strength. She has what she needs to give to me. So we bring all the things we have. You know, they say now from one cup, 9 jollof rice to the full pot. You know, everybody in the compound bring their one cup, we pour it in the pot. We pour water, we boil it. The jollof rice don't fool the whole pot. So everybody needs to bring their 2 pence. and we now combine it together and create something. And even when these children even grow, they will also bring their strength. I get what I'm saying. They also bring their strength. You know, my mom is turning 70 in the midst of Corona. COVID. We couldn't celebrate it. But the way my brother has, in his ingenuity, created something. You know, I mean, I'm saying this is the best way this woman would have celebrated her 70th birthday. You get what I'm saying? And he's planning it with my wife. In fact, my wife is one that is even updating me on my own mother's 70th birthday. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is there will be a level where the children will also grow and also be able to contribute their own quota to the whole system. And if they've learned to see the way the parents learn, they will also now align together. I think I'll end my own talk here.
Okay, so Ima said prayer, plan, communicate, agree, have some picture of your vision, be ready to make sacrifices. Jonathan, having God at the center, and Chris says, look for a common interest and strength. Human beings are meant to partner and not to lord over the other person. Every family must have a vision while working with personal strengths. Find the common ground, learning together. Okay, so Auntie Tina will wrap up, but before she does, any other contributions from anybody? Sammy, Rose,
Justina,
Christina.
What do you want me to say? You guys are finishing it.
Justina. Say something.
Justina, if I don't finish.
My food don't finish, oh.
So, okay, Sam Brown.
What would you not do?
Brown is still sleeping. Okay, Auntie Tina, the floor. Take over.
Thank you, Toti, and thanks everyone. Honestly, I'm telling you, I've learned one or two things. Thanks for all the contribution. I wanted to say just a few things. Alignment is a process. Was one of the things I wanted to say. It's a process. So what does that mean? It will take time. It will take time. Alignment takes time. There are lots of things that will need to happen, that has to go on for that alignment to happen. And I think one thing I've not heard, I don't think I've heard, maybe somebody would have said it in a different way, is that when you talk about alignment, there's a place of laying down to pick up. There's a place of laying down your vision. You might be able to pick it up at another time, but at some point you just have to lay down. And that is the place of sacrifice, because you look at a lot of things and you're like, okay, I just need to let go for now. And then I'm trying to bring the practical aspect of it. What we said, what Brother Ima have said, what Jonathan said, so true. Having God in the mix is so important, because God is the strength that we need in the partnership and relationship, and the guidance that we need. But there is a place where you just have to lay it down. You might be able to pick it up at a later time. And maybe I'll give a few examples. Recall I said at some point in time, my husband worked in the bank. By the time he wanted to leave the banking job, he felt so strongly to leave that job. I didn't quite agree with him. And he kept saying something to me. I can't leave this job. I need your agreement to be able to do that. And so I kept praying about it. I had my issues, I had my fears I was dealing with at that time. And I had to address those fears in the place of prayer. And God helped me. And after a while, I said, okay, if you believe so strongly, you need to leave this job and this is the way God is directing, please go ahead. I give you my support. I give you my agreement. And he went ahead and did that. And thank God I came to that place of agreement, because after he left that job, I tell you, we had our own wilderness experience. But because I'd settled it in the place of prayer, because I've agreed with it, we're able to talk it out together. You can imagine if I had not agreed. And that was, I think, what the point Jonathan was making, that it can break the family. Because if I had not agreed with him, all I'll be saying, I'll be blaming him for that period we're going through. I will keep accusing him. I will be angry. So that coming to that place of agreement and saying, yes, I agree, let's do this. Because a lot of time both parties need to come together, align and say, this is the right way to go. Now, there was another instance where he believed so strongly this was the way we needed to go as a family. I wasn't totally in agreement, but I was like, okay, if you feel so strongly, let's do it. But you know, like Reverend will say, vibes are stronger than words. And at a point, my husband kept saying, I'm not getting your support. I said, which support do you want? I said, I agree. I said, let's do it. Which one is, I'm not supporting you? And he kept saying, no, I don't feel the support. I don't think you're in this thing and all that. And to be candid with you, when I really thought of it, I was like, yeah, I don't think I was really in agreement. I just felt as if we're putting money in a hole and the money was going down. So at a point in time, I had to rethink the process. I had to ask myself questions, and I gave my agreement. A lot of times when I say agreement, it dovetails into prayers, which was what I think Jonathan made. Was it Jonathan or Emmanuel now that made that, talked about prayers? Sometimes, and that is where that alignment and that agreement comes in. You might not be the one in the forefront. You know that scripture that says both those that go to war and those at home, they will part alike. In a partnership, you might not be the one in the forefront. But when you give your agreement, you are running the other background things to ensure that that thing comes out successful. Because your agreement is there, you're praying, you're giving the support, you're creating the enabling environment. So if you've agreed on something, it could be the husband, it could be the wife that has to put more work out there. You will say, okay, I will handle other things. The children are there, the home front is there. And I must tell you, sometimes, depending who is the one at the background, sometimes it's more difficult to stay in the background. It's more demanding because you feel, sometimes you even feel left out. You feel I'm doing my bit, but I don't even think I'm being appreciated for that bit that I'm doing. I'm doing my bit for this vision to come to actualization, but I don't think I'm even being appreciated or noticed for the effort I'm bringing into this vision. And really, it could be the man, it could be the woman. And so, like I said, 1, alignment is a process. 2, there is a place of laying down. And 3, the other thing I wanted to say was that, like Ima talked about planning, so true. Somebody talked about the dynamics, I think it's Jonathan or Chris, I can't remember, about the fact that when you get into the marriage, there's a plan, you people have spoken, you said these are your visions and everything. It will keep changing. What you talked about, at some point, it will be something else. It will keep changing. It might not be static. As you keep going, you just, I believe strongly this is the way I need to go right now. So we keep changing. So you keep coming back to the table to discuss And that is where that laying down happens. Because somebody might come up with something and you're like, oh, but I need to do this too. So at some point, you need to let go, come back to the table, agree again. So I think I've talked about 3 things. Now, alignment is a process. 2, there's a place of laying down. 3, visions we keep. They might not be, the big vision might not change, but some things we keep coming up as you go along the way. And then you keep making those adjustments. I really appreciate what Chris said about that family vision. So true. That family vision, I was so blessed. Thank you, Chris, for saying that. You need to have a family vision. What do you want? What do you see when you talk about your family? What do you see? And do you know that sometimes because of our upbringing, we come into marriage saying, oh, this is the way we want to train our children. But do you know when children actually start coming, your response in training might be different because you're coming from 2 different backgrounds. And at that point, there might be some sort of clash. Because the wife will be like, oh, this is the way to do it. The man is like, no, you're not doing it right. You're too harsh, or you're too this. This is how we need to go about it. At that point, which is why I'm talking about the dynamics, you have to come back to the drawing table and say, how do we want to do this? And it is not weakness for the man to say, my wife, I agree with your choice of bringing up children. Let's go in that direction. It doesn't show that you're weak. You're just coming to the table and agreeing that this is the best thing we need to do right now. And I will end with this because Reverend and Reverend Mother have actually given that example where Reverend had talked about his own background, where he came from. He never really had that father figure in his life. And they've talked about the fact that even raising his own son, at some point, they were having challenges. And he talked about Reverend Mother, her own background, that she has come from that strong family background, the father and mother together, the children. She was able to bring that strength to bear in raising their son. And I just wanted to use that to buttress what I'm talking about. That yes, when you start off, there's a plan, there's an agreement, but as you go along the way, things will evolve. And you realize, oh, we might not be in alignment here. That's the time to come back and say, okay, you know what? Who has the strength in this area? And that humility, the humility to accept and say, oh, this is the way we should go. I think your strategy is the best strategy. Let's go in that direction. So humility, very important. When you're talking about alignment, that to know that this is a better choice and to go with it. And be humble and let down your own, whatever strategy you're bringing. If it's not the best option, adopt the best option and move forward. So I leave us with these things. I will just go through them again. Alignment is a process. We should understand that. In agreement, there are sometimes you might have to lay down your vision. And at some point, you'll be able to pick it up. It's dynamic. The relationship is dynamic. Your vision, your goals, and everything. Things will keep changing along the way. Come back and look at how to address it, agree, and then humility. In aligning, you must be humble. Let the best strategy win. It's not just about you. Let the best strategy win so that both of you can achieve that vision together. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ma.
No.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so much, Auntie. I think we should move to prayer.
Thank you, Ma.
Toti, so guys, I really want to appreciate everybody on behalf of Toti, our host for today. We are past our time. We need to pray so we can go. But there's a scripture that put in my heart while we're wrapping up the talk, and I think we should read it. It's Isaiah 34, verse 16. Isaiah 34, verse 16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of this shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it has commanded, and his spirit shall gather them." One version says, "It has gathered them." You know, there are a lot of things here we can take out, but I would say this when she was talking, like it just confirmed what this word of God dropped in my heart with, which is the fact that a lot of this we speak right now is God's spirit that will still come into our lives and put it together. But let me say this. I use football again as an example. When you employ a new coach for a football club, you will look at the players that are there and now say, Kai, my team needs a defender like Company. Let me go and get it from Man City and put him in the team. You get what I'm saying? So God looked at Adam in Genesis 2 and then said, Kai, this guy, he needs his support. It's not good for him to be like this. Let me find Eve. But do you know something I realized? When she saw Eve, when Adam saw Eve, he said, you are the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Say, for God has removed you from my side. One version says, God has removed you from my rib. There's no part in the Bible where the Bible says God told Adam that he removed Eve from his rib. So the question is, how did Adam know that Eve was from his rib? I would say what I'm trying to buttress here is the fact that God will create a hunger in you and put the person that can meet that hunger out there. When the Bible says they shall not lack their mates, that's what the Bible is trying to say. I'm not saying it's one person, but I'm saying that dream partner, I'm talking to the people that are not married now, that is out there. God has created the person and God will position the person to find you or for you to find the person. We're going to pray on that line. Because see, after all this, our pillow talk we've done for close to 5 weeks or 6 weeks now. One thing I've been praying for everybody that's part of this and those that are not part and everybody in the church is that our singles will not, out of frustration or out of eagerness, step into relationships that have to be managed. When the woman said that yesterday, that after you get married, there's only one counsel you hear in the church of God, and it's prayer. I was scared. I said, God, may my life not be a prayer point. My relationship not be a prayer point. May this smile that I enjoy smiling in this camera, let it not be because of keeping up with the days. Let it be the real smile. And when we're celebrating our 70th anniversary, let the smile still be there. And it's not impossible. Praise God. It is not impossible. But one thing we can do is that we can speak it forth. The Bible says, my mouth has spoken, and my spirit, it shall gather, or it has gathered. So I'm going to pray prophetically into our lives. And this, apart from those that are even about to get married, those that are even married already. You see, one thing you have to also understand is that it is God that worketh in us both to will and to do of his own good pleasure. The Bible says that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth it like the water course. So even if you're married to someone and the person is not catching the vibe, when I listen to Father Duroto's testimony, about his wife told him that she's not doing anymore, she wants to leave. See them now looking like two birds on the tree. Everywhere they go, the husband is following, the wife is following. Now ask myself, how did they go from wife leaving the house to now becoming sweet? Now they move from love to falling apart, coming back. It shows you that God is able to make the heart of a man to love a woman again, or make the heart of a woman to love the man again. So we're going to pray for ourselves. And that's it. I use that scripture again. We will not lack our mate. We will not be like a team member that do not fit. Some of us work in offices when they employ a new staff, and the person just don't gel. You just can't find a reading. You just can't. It's not just working. My wife can testify about it. You just don't you can't even make rice. You can't make indomie together because it doesn't work. But God is saying you will not lack your mate. You will not lack someone that finds your reading, that your heart will be finding resonance together. When you are thinking, the person see what Jonathan was saying. His wife was telling him an idea, and he said, there's an idea in the idea. When you are talking about someone, when you are praying, you hold hands to pray. There's a sensation. When things are just. I'm not saying every time to be. I'm just saying that, but God can make you find your own mate. Praise God. And if you found someone, God can also create in the person the foresight, the idea, the image, the personality, that thing. Praise God. So I'd like us to open our mouth and to pray the Spirit first of all. Let's pray the Spirit for the word of God. The Bible says, seek ye out of the books, for none of them shall lack their mate. For my mouth he has spoken, and my spirit he shall gather. I'd like us to pray in the Spirit. Malingros kariare braishta. You see, one thing that we will not do is to expose the hand of the enemy and now see the enemy still succeed. The Bible says that it is of men to prepare horses for battle. We can prepare our minds and our hearts, but safety is of the Lord. But thank God, because safety is in the name of the Lord. The Bible says the name of the Lord is a strong tower that we go into and we are safe. We are safe. Our relationships are safe, regardless where our fathers, our mothers have been, regardless how we were brought up, regardless our nurture, nature, and culture. Our relationships are safe. Our relationships are strong in God. We walk in God. We have wives that will lead us to God. We have husbands that will lead us to God. We do not have husbands who will just be concerned about our physical appearances alone, or wives that are just concerned about our physical appearances or our wallets or our ATM cards. But no, people that will partner, people that will be blessings to us, people that will be an addition to us, people that when we see, we will understand that this is the person that is carved from my rib, according to what the Bible says in Adam. A person that will be a true mate. The person that will be a true mate, the person that together you can leap over a wall, the person that together you can run through a troop, according to the Bible, the partner, the same way, just like David and Jonathan. The Bible said he was like a partner. He was fitting. He was a friend that fits, a friend that was closer than a brother, a friend that fits, a friend that fits, a friend that fits. Especially pray for even the singles among us and say, God, they shall not lack their mate. They will not lack not just a partner, but a
Imarinta Pushtaria Prakadiri Pushindiri Bahasiria, Malianti Kapushtaria Prakadiri Pushtaria Baba, Rimustikiri Prakadiria Baba Handiri Pushtaria Baha, Imadianti Prakadiri Pushtaria Baba Hadara Bastiria Baha, Imanituri Pushindiria Baha, Ripasitaria Prakadiria Baba, Rima Sindiri Prakadiri Pushindiria Baba, Riba Santaria Maha, Malantiri Bubu Sintariaha, Marantiri Brushinteria Braha, Maripa Kusaida Kaima Hoshiria Baba, Rima Sintaria Brahandiri Bubu Sintariaha, Kasikaria Baba Baha, Malibu Shintaria Brakandiri Bubu Sintariaha, Kabushtaria Brahandiria Baba Baha, Libu Sintaria Braha, Ali Kabushtaria Braha, Ripa Sintiri Bushtaria Mama Maha, Mayika Libu Shintaria Baba, Lipa Sintiri Mahandiri Bushtaria Baba Baba, Urama Kandiri Bushindara Baha, Sandaria Mama Maha, Ye Marianti Bushikiri Bushiria Baba Baha. Blessed be your name, Lord God. My Yiri Bushiria Baba Bahatiria Braha. Lekiri Bushindiri Bakandiri Bushiria. Bakandiri Bushiria Baha.
Let your will be done concerning our life. Oh God, we thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Never go out.
Amen.
We're going to pray. We're going to pray for our spouses, so that we have them or we are intentional, we have them in the works. You see, I personally believe that a peaceful home is a gift from God. You know, I've seen people who have faith in God, and you see the faith not they pray, the heavens open, they pray, miracles happen. But you know that Ahab and Jezebel, you just see that the home is in chaos. You're wondering why is the faith not able to solve this problem? And I found out that honestly, a peaceful home is a gift from God. Only God can give you that. I remember one article I saw someone say you can buy a house, but you cannot buy a home or something like that. You know, it's very true. I know a lot of people who will be driving home. When they get to the front of their houses, they will now stop and say, "Oh my God, here am I again." You know, it is. Bible even says that the man should not have a man to stay at the top of the roof or something like that. That to be, you know, we need to pray that our homes will be peaceful. Now, I love what Rebbe says that peace is not It's not the absence of fight. Peace doesn't mean that there's fight. It doesn't mean that there's no divine confrontation. It doesn't mean that there's no confrontation in the law. I get what I'm saying. But the point is, peace is the state of things after all the chaos has happened, after all the argument. It comes back to peace, the point where it's shalom. Nothing is missing and nothing is broken. But I don't believe that people can argue. We're going to pray for a peace. I miss all because we're living in an age where people, it's like marriage is like a fast food. People can literally walk into, if you go to Ikoyi, there's a court in Ikoyi, people will literally walk into the court, sign a marriage register, and walk into the place and eat rice and chicken, and they're married. If you go to the place in Ikoyi, you will see plenty of people with their wedding gown and wedding suits coming in there to eat. They've gotten married. You can get married in 30 minutes. It feels like fast food. But now, we are not praying for marriage. You can just walk in and tomorrow say you're not doing and you sign out. But no, the gift of God that is coming to our life will be for now and for eternity, till the end of time. We're not going to be and be saying, no. I stand on the word of God that says that every good and perfect gift comes from God.
From God, yeah.
From God. If God has given me joy, then joy cannot give me sadness. I might be angry, but I will come back to my senses and remember that she's a gift of God, and I will align my heart with the will of God and forgive her I need to forgive, and she will take the forgiveness and we'll come back together and pray together and fight ahead against the detriment of the devil in the name of God.
Amen.
Amen. We said this, we will not do that. We will not become a discussion of gossip. But we will be able to align our heart. We're going to pray and say, God, we speak to our homes, whether they are formed or about to be formed. We declare peace of God. I love the word peace. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but in every prayer, with thanksgiving, make your supplication. I said, the God of peace. So at the point of praying when you are anxious, God comes with peace to solve the problem. And I love what God also says in Romans that the God of peace will prosper under me. Not the God of faith, the God of peace. I like us to pray that peace will fill our home. Shalom. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Meaning the baby will not be missing.
Amen.
Nothing will not be missing in that home. Vision, dream, achievement, fulfillment. Children that will grow in the grace of God and in the light of God. Amen. That will love the Lord and walk in the ways of God. A relationship will not be only genuine for God. Be happy outside and inside. If a family will be happy in the bedroom, will be beating in the parlor.
God, indeed, you will combine our homes together, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Your forms to work within the name of Jesus. Healing powers, destiny, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Your peace is restored in every home, so we pray for your peace of
the enemy in the name of
Jesus Christ, oh God. What is the mighty house of God? Jesus, I pray. I will thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for your peace is being restored in every home, oh God. Thank you for your peace, oh God. Restore your peace in the mighty name of Jesus. Being restored in the mighty name. Thank
If
you,
the
Jesus.
foundation be destroyed,
Thank
what
you,
can
for your
if a
peace,
righteous man can
your
build
peace,
foundation?
oh God.
If a righteous
Thank
man
you for restoration, oh God.
the
Every
Bible
home
says
will
except
laughter, oh
God
God.
refuse to
Every
stand.
home will
I want to
laughter,
pray and
oh
say,
God.
God, our relationships, my relationship with my wife, with my husband, with my fiance, with my boyfriend, with my friend, with the person I want to be, God, we build it on you. The Bible says in Corinthians in Matthew 24, it says the wise man built his house upon the rock, and when the winds and the came beating against it, he stood the test. But the foolish man built his hand upon the sand, upon the multitude, upon the opinion of men. But no, we're going to build upon the rock. Upon the rock. Upon the rock. I know what happens to buildings upon the rock. Remember Jesus. He said to Peter, he says, and upon this rock I will build, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it, because he built upon the rock. Because he built upon, God build my home upon the rock. I don't care whether you're married or you're I'm talking about the home that God is building. Because in God there is no timing. God lives in eternity. If he didn't have 10 years ago,
Sorry, not on a sanding soil, but on a rock, where the foundation shall be strong. If you have a strong foundation, is our desire at this point, oh God. Cause our homes, cause our hearts, oh Lord, to be laid on a strong foundation, to be laid on a rock, oh God. When the wind will come, where the storms will come, God will cause it to stand. In the name of Jesus Christ. Glory to your name, oh God. Glory to your name, oh God. Glory to your name, oh God. Because we know, oh God, abundantly above all that we shall ask or think. So we know, God, in the name of Jesus Christ. Because we know that we are hidden in Christ, and Christ is in God. Glory to your name, oh God. Everlasting Father, we give you all the praise. Thank you, God, because, oh God, eyes of all of us will not see our family. Because our family, O Lord, shall be hidden in Christ, where no man will not be reachable by any man, any wicked man, any Satan. In the name of Jesus.
Against every
Glory to
devices of the enemy,
I'm laid upon the rock in the name of Jesus. Mahandiri Broshindaria Braha. Uri Boshikiri Brakandiri
God
Bugubushinia.
before us, oh God, the mighty name of Jesus.
The Bible says that I've appointed you to be over kingdoms and over nations, to pull down, to destroy, to uproot, to build, and to plant. You know, the Bible says that the king of Jerubbaal, because he tore down the altars of Baal. I'd like us to pray and say, God, we declare that if there's anything that is holding itself above you in our homes, maybe our vision, maybe our career, maybe our desire, maybe our own dreams and whatever, put it down for your purposes to be established in our home.
In the name of Jesus, Lord, may you
Amen.
oh God, in the mighty
We pray, Lord God, everything that we stand against, Lord God, everlasting Father, fulfilling purpose, infinity of heart, Lord God. Father, we say, pull it down in the name of Jesus Christ. Mayiri kaskitaria baba, uri bushikiri brakandiri bubu bushindaria, rama kandiri bubu bushindaria baba, rama kandiri brakandiri bubu bushindaria.
Lord, if there's any way we put our vision or our purposes, so
Let the
Lord, we
source,
ask
oh
for
God,
your
that cometh from
mercy.
above, oh Lord, be our source.
Your
Let,
purpose,
oh
oh Lord,
God,
come
and the
first.
nation, our environment will never determine the happiness in our home. In the name of
Whatever
Jesus
we've
Christ.
idolized in one way or the other,
Presence will dwell in bountiful. in our lives. In the name of Jesus. Glory to your name, O God.
For preeminence in the name of Jesus.
Men and their influences can
In our
never
life.
affect our
Lord,
home.
cause your
It
Holy
is only
Spirit,
the influence from God, the
your
influence from the Holy
will
Spirit
be
that we experience in our home. In the name of
we
Jesus
therefore
Christ. Men
decree, O
cannot
Lord,
determine the
that which
happiness in
God
our
has
home.
willed for us.
Mandiri
Kusaya handara kushahara
Masandiri Brakandiri
Mahandi
Bukustiri
kitiri
Abrakandiri
kusahara
Baba Uri Bushikiri Brakandiri
kusahara
Baba Baba Bahandaria
handara
Makandiri
bukusha
Brakasiria Baba Baba
Bandi kitiri
Bahandaria Maha
bukusahandara
Bushikiri
tiri
Brakandiri
bukusha
Bukushindaria Baba
tiri
Ura
tiri
Bakandiri Brakasantaria
handara
Mama
ya
Mahandiri
avrali tiri
Bushikara Baba
bukusha
Uri Bushikiri Brakandiri Bukusiria Mama Uri Pasantaria Baba Bakandiri Bukushiria Baba Sikiribra Kandiria Ha Imalia Tiribu Kushindara Kandiria Baba Rapa Kadiri Bukusiria Baba Baha. Oh, blessed be your name, O Lord God. Mayiri Kasutaria Baba Baba. Sikiribra Kandiria Kandiria Baba. Urapa
Kusahara bukushikiri
Oh, blessed be your name, God. Makiri Bushari Bahadi Bukusiha. Blessed be your name,
Lord, we declare we shall grow in grace and age in grace. We declare we shall not have men that will fight against us. We will not have women that will fight against us. Our partners will be a mate, equally matching in the name of Jesus. We will be a partner for the world to learn how relationships to be in the name of Jesus. Father, we thank you. We give you praise.
Thank you, Jesus.
Stay on your altar every fear, and we declare, oh God, that your perfect love and that fear in the name of Jesus. We declare that in the life of our fathers and our forefathers, we declare it comes to an end. Our generation ends in the name of Jesus. We are faithful men in the name of Jesus. We are faithful women in the name of Jesus. We are faithful people. We are faithful to our God. Finances. We are faithful in our businesses. We are faithful to our
Amen.
of Jesus. We declare our words of integrity in the name of Jesus. Lord, we declare we are a citizen of
Amen. Amen.
we declare
Amen.
in the name of Jesus. We declare with arrows. Our children are arrows, oh God. They are darts that will out of the enemy. In the name of Jesus. We declare that we have and our children shall possess the gates.
Amen.
Amen. The gates in the name of Jesus. We declare of fulfillment in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Fire upon our altars. When we pray in our home, you will heal the sick. You will raise the dead in our homes, oh God.
Amen.
Of the Spirit for the Christian in our homes, oh God. Our devotional who will understand the word of God. We will teach our children. And as you said about Abraham, you will know about us that our children will yet follow you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Father, we thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
This grace.
Amen.
Give God the thanks and all the praise.
Amen.
We rebuke
Thank you, Lord. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Father, Lord, because the thief has
Thank you, Jesus.
sevenfold in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Give you all the thanks and all the praise.
We give you praise, Lord.
In Jesus' precious name.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Thank you, Auntie Tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, guys.
All right.
It's a wonderful time with you.
Bye. Thanks,
Good
everyone.
night, all.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We'll upload the video.
Bye. God bless you
Bye.
all.
Bye.
Good night.
The Lambo herself.
This name.
And the Rolls Royce. The Lambo and the Rolls Royce.
I was going to be Rose Royce.